1:07.7. And that's 6/10 quicker than anybody else out there at the moment. As go back trackside. Keats, yeah, what a performance that would be for him. He's only had 4 podiums this season. 1 second place, 2 third place. 2 third places across the year. One of those third places coming in number 3 last time out at Rara. But yeah, running very confident in these conditions. Clearly he's the number 8 yet to take a race to the 50s. Is this the weekend that he does that? Again, the likes of Riley Paisley nearby him as well. Again, breaking his leg in that nasty crash here last year. Shaking off the demons of 3 sisters. Nicola Dunwoody back with us, the Scottish rider in P3 as well, looking for Caleb Ratcliffe's also there or thereabouts. St Anton Slavsky doesn't feel us. It's anyone's guess who's going to be good this weekend.
It is right indeed. We'll just have to wait and see who is going to end up where this weekend. One of our riders has been in the paddock at the moment, isn't racing this weekend, is Oscar McAllister. You had a chat with him earlier. He unfortunately has broken his leg at the last round in Rora, so has not been able to race, but it's good to see him here and supporting everybody else.
Yeah, no, it was. I was a bit surprised to see Oscar. I was running across the paddock and I was like, oh, hello. How's it doing? You know, when's the cast? The cast is coming a week. Well, actually, no, it's on Friday now. So, cast off in less than a week, really good. And he said he's currently committed to racing at the final of the championship as well. So, fingers crossed for Oscar. There is no more complications with that, and all of the best to him. I can't wait to have it back on the bike for the final round as well. 50 seconds left in this qualifying session, and then hopefully it'll be time to get racing very, very quickly. Because again, we've had a couple of delays due to weather and incident today. Looks like someone's car was stopped there. Not sure who that was, unfortunately. There's Goslavsky, your championship leader. His fastest time goes up to P50 last lap. P50, should I say. It's well off. He's what is that? 2 seconds? 2 seconds off Tommy Keats' pace. That is bizarre. It's not something we're used to seeing.
It's not, Ross. We are not used to seeing that at all. But we have got just 15 seconds left of this qualifying session. Then we will be getting the first races underway. I can just see in the pit lane right now some of our riders for the first race of the day are starting to gather and get ready to go. But we're just waiting to see what is going to happen. Tommy Keats is still topping our time sheets at the moment. 1:05.9 in the wet. That is some good times that we've seen at the moment. But yes, in our pit lane at the moment, there we can see some of our riders getting ready for the first race of today on some of these mini motos. But just a reminder, they are going to be on that slightly different track than our bikes that have just been having their final qualifying sessions. So it will be interesting to see what's going to happen for those guys when they run on that bit of track that is still that bit more wet. They haven't had that chance to sort that out yet.
Absolutely. So that qualifying session comes to an end, and the riders for our next race on extreme wets, of course, get ready to head out onto the circuit. And we'll wait to see what is going to unfold. There you see the 44 of Nelly to your inside. Finley Styles, the championship leader, on the 19 there as well. It is all to play for. The opening race of the weekend waits.
Our first races of the weekend at Three Sisters are going to be starting any moment now. We are just waiting for our riders to finish gathering in the pit lane, then they will be coming out onto track and we will get the racing underway. Our first race of the day will be the AC40 Inters. This has been a very close championship battle all season long. Finley Styles currently leading with 312 points ahead of Nelly Nuth with 270. It's going to be an interesting race for these guys.
It certainly is, if this championship's to go this weekend, mathematically it has to go to race number 3. It can't be clinched by Finley Other Styles any other way. Even if he wins race 1 and 2 and DNFC still is far enough ahead. So it will go down to race 3 if it is to go this weekend. But I believe it's looking very, very good for Finley Styles in that regard, because, well, I say that, he is ahead of Nelly Nuth, but not by much, because Finley Styles starts 8th, Nelly Nuth starts 9th and last. So the pressure of the situation perhaps getting to both our young superstars. Last few words there to Nuth from her dad, giving a few words of encouragement before they get out onto the racetrack. But yeah, this is set to be a very interesting one, because our 2 championship contenders at the very back of the grid at a very tricky circuit and a very wet Three Sisters circuit as well is all to play for in this one. They've got to try and maximise their points positions as well. It's anyone's guess what's going to happen in this one, is it?
It really is. I mean, we are just seeing the grid now after quite
championship contention, and to be fair, depending on how things go this weekend, certainly in race 1, they could maybe make some big gains. And if there are problems for the likes of Nuth and Styles going into the final round as well, presuming they have drastically terrible, race 1, 2, 3 all across this weekend, they could be a little bit of a dark horse and just be there lingering in the back waiting to pounce. So it's all to play for in the Britson AC40 Inters, the first ever year of this championship, and it has been one which has set FAB-Racing alight. Of course, that 12mm exhaust restrictor on the bikes puts in between the 10 mils of the rookies and the 14 mils of the pros as well. Last few checks being made there. Flag marshal Luke Hines has vanished from my eyesight, but I can see Louise Thomas from race control heading over to speak to Lee and handing her what I believe looks like some grids. It is a bit of a trek from race control. It's at the other side of the circuit, which is maybe why we're having a bit of a delay, just to let Louise come across and sort things out. She has a bit of a chat with Lee, and then looks like we are ready to get going. And in fact, I think Louise is coming up here to give us something as well. The commentary box, which would be very nice if she does. But the rider sat there patiently waiting in the pit lane. It is almost go time here.
Absolutely, it is, Ross. We are just waiting for this first race of the day to get underway. Qualifying so far has just finished. We will have the first race getting underway in just a minute. We can see our riders there from the AC40 Inters just waiting to be let out on track for their warm-up lap, and then the racing will get underway. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be brilliant. It is our second to last race weekend, and we are here at Three Sisters bringing you all the action. Do let us know where you are watching from, who you are supporting. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. But racing will be underway in just a few moments.
Just to let you know what the starting procedure is here, we go out from the grid, or from the pit lane to the grid. That is your sighting lap. So this lap is the sighting lap, and we'll read the grid out for you in a moment. And then it is a flag start. There are no lights down where the riders start the race. So it is a drop of the green flag. When the green flag drops, the race gets underway. So let us run through the grid for you. It is Randy Carter that starts on pole position. Austin Dilks is alongside. Row 2, Noah Barfoot with Zach Athasich in P4. James Dermott is 5th with Seth James in P6. Austin Baton starts in P7. And P8 and P9 are 2 championship contenders having pretty rotten qualifying sessions. Finley Styles and Nelly Nuth alone on the back row. What a story that is coming into this one. Maybe, as I said, the pressure getting to those young riders of the situation of this battle that they are locked in. But as they come to the end of their sighting lap, it's all play for. This is the first time they'll have ridden the track in these conditions after that downpour, and it's heading into the first race of the weekend as well. So a lot of pressure on these young runners' shoulders. They'll be scanning every inch of racetrack, and then the first couple of laps, I think, is just trying to figure out where the pace is.
Yeah, you could see on that outing lap, just everybody was riding that a little bit more cautious, just checking for those spots on the track that they know will be more greasy than others, more slippy than others. But now we are just having our final checks happen. All of our riders just coming onto their grid now. Randy Carter starting in pole position with Austin Dilks in second place. Our top riders in the battle for this championship at the moment, Findlay Styles and Nelly New, starting 8th and 9th on the grid. This is going to be a very interesting first race of the weekend. There is our flag marshal Lee Close there now, just holding up, telling everybody to get ready and everybody else to move off to the sides. It is our first race of the weekend. We have all been waiting for this one. Lico's just grabbing the flag now, and it is flag down, and away we go. Randy Carter starting brilliant off the line there. That was a brilliant start for him. He's just pulling away from everybody else, and the 85 of Austin Dilks just being passed by Noah Barfoot on the number 36. He's now running in second. These three though have pulled off amazingly from everybody else. Everybody else just grouping together, need to catch up to these guys just a little bit, Ross.
Absolutely, as they come round Luna Bend then and officially start the first lap of the race. It is Randy Carter that leads, Barfoot's in second place and Dilks in P3, so they've swapped places. And that front three really started to break away from the rest of the pack as well. Championship wise, Nelly New did jump Findlay Styles into Paddock Bend, so she now holds P8, Styles P9, so she'll be getting a small advantage in the championship there as they come back down the pit straight and into Paddock Bend once more. And neck this front three, feeling very confident in these wet conditions. A wider line attempted to be taken there, that's by Noah Barfoot, but it comes to nothing. These front three, though, look at the gap they've already got, Izzy. They've bolted away, feeling really confident in these conditions.
They have, Ross, absolutely just bolted away from everybody else. But we spoke to some of these riders earlier, especially Randy Carter. He was saying he was feeling really confident about this race, but these three, normally settled in the mid-pack, have absolutely flown in these conditions, and it is what we were saying earlier. Everybody copes differently in these conditions, and obviously it's very advantageous for these guys. Up from third place though, looking to make the move then. He really didn't quite catch that then. He was looking to move up 2 places from third place then was Austin Dilks, but couldn't quite get the move. Randy Carter still leading ahead of Noah Barfoot and Austin Dilks. Just 8 laps left to go, but these three absolutely flown away from the rest of the pack. Findlay Styles has got past Nelly Nuth and is now running in 8th, with Nelly Nuth running in 9th at the moment. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a cat and mouse game between those two all of this race. They know the points matter to those guys, but Randy Carter still leading. It is his first season in FAB this year, and he's absolutely flying around the track at the moment.
Yeah, doing a great job as the number 69, keeping ahead of his rivals as well as Barfoot and Dilks start to fight as they get to the top of the hill before plunging back down onto the infield where the original circuit used to be, coming down into what's now known as Joey Dunlop Corner. That's a very late, very bold move there. Wonderful though from Austin Dilks to get up into second place. A lovely move. The 36 of Barfoot will have to settle for third, but Dilks looks like he is feeling very, very racy in these conditions. The younger brother of Wilson, of course, suddenly is absolutely flying with 7, soon to be 6 laps left to go.
Exactly. Randy Carter still leading amazingly in this race. Oh no, that is Randy Carter off, our front runner. He has just slipped and come on, he lost control in the wet there, but he is unable to rejoin this race.
Yeah, we'll get black flag for that.
It is Austin Dilks who now leads ahead of Noah Barfoot in third. We said this would happen. We said these conditions, we never know what's going to happen, and unfortunately that was just a rough slide there from Randy Carter, and he's out of this first race of the weekend. Just 6 laps left to go. Austin Dilks putting a fastest lap of a 54.601. They are still picking up some speed around this track.
Yeah, starting to get more and more confident with every corner, and as the water shifts away, the track gets faster as well. We're real shame there for Randy Carter. Again, if you come off the bike, you are not allowed to rejoin the race. We did see a marshal telling him to stop, but he would have been black flagged and potentially facing a big penalty moving into race 2 had he done that. Up the front though, Dix is going to make it 5 to go. Barfoot right on his tail. But the boy from Mansfield leads here and is set to take home a very, very strong victory if he is able to hold on for these final 5 laps. Meanwhile, Carter going down and out. That has promoted Zach Athasich on the 76 up into 3rd place. But he's got a huge fight going on right now with James Dermott, so that's not done and dusted just yet either.
Absolutely, it isn't. But Finley Styles and Nelly Nuth both still running at the back of the grid in this race. The rain really affecting them at the moment. But that was a brilliant move from Austin Dilks, who is now running in second in first place in this race, ahead of Noah Barfoot on the 36. Barfoot though catching on Dilks, a gap of 0.3 separating these two guys running at the front of this race. Just 5 laps left to go. They are doing absolutely brilliant out there in these wet conditions. What a brilliant performance we're seeing from them.
Looking to the inside, Barfoot, anything there too far back this time as they head into the right-hander, turn number 1. And then bombing down into the infield again. These guys using the club circuit slightly short. You don't see them going up and over the crest. Now into Joey Dunlop corner and back onto the main straight. A 180-degree right-hander. Don't want to run it too far wide because you will lose momentum. And Dilk sitting very happily there at the moment. This is the fight for a little bit further back, as we'll just wait to see these guys make their way through Joey Dunlop corner now, pushing onwards. That looks like the number 27. It is the 27, so that's James Dermott and Zach Athasich. That's the fight for 3rd place. They've swapped positions on the previous lap, so it was Dermott in a P3. Randy Carter, I know it says he's in P3 on your picture, but he is down and out of the race to confirm that. But James Dermott has moved up a position with the Spider-Man helmet, so you know he means business.
Absolutely, he does mean business. The James Dermott on that number 27, leading ahead of Zach Athasich on the 76. Finley Styles, though, has got himself up into 5th place currently in this race. He's just making moves throughout the pack and really pushing to get himself back up on those podium positions. Here are front runners at the moment, the 85 of Austin Dilks and the 36 of Noah Barfoot. Barfoot ever so much closing in on Austin Dilks. Going to be looking to make a move at some point. Has just got to try and find his best moment to be able to do so. But a brilliant performance we are seeing from these guys running out in front. Austin Dilks ahead of Noah Barfoot, and then we have got James Dermott running in 3rd. But this battle for 1st place here with just 3 laps left to go is going to come down to the wire.
It certainly is. There's battles everywhere you look here in the tricky conditions. Riders braving it out there as it gets to its worst. And Barfoot looking to try and get a run down into Joey Dunlop corner. It's going to be from a long way back, but it's not going to be on this occasion. Just a little bit too keen, but he recognised that. He backed off, but now he gets the run. Does he see anything into Paddock Bend? Again, no. You can tell he's looking. Runs wide there. Was that a mistake, or is that trying to set up a move? Is he just trying something different? He hugged the inside line there, almost like he was trying to take the full circuit there to the inside. But as they work their way around now, it's going to be 1 more lap to go then for our leaders. Austin Dilks, has he got the bottle, or can Barfoot squeeze his way back past to take the win in race 1?
We will have to wait and see, but like Ross said, just 1 lap left to go. Dilks ahead of Barfoot. Can Barfoot make that move in these final few moments of this race? Absolutely brilliant race we have seen from these guys. Obviously Randy Carter, our previous race leader, had that off, so he could not rejoin, but he will be coming back for race 2 and race 3. But at the moment, Austin Dilks there, our leader of this race, the number 36 of Noah Barfoot, though, looking to make a move, but cannot quite get enough out of that throttle on his bike to be able to take that 1st place position. Absolutely brilliant race. We have seen the first race of the weekend, the AC40 Inters. We will find out our winner in just a few seconds. Austin Dilks ahead of Noah Barfoot. Absolutely amazing racing we've seen from these two guys running in front 2 positions. Who is it going to be? And it is Austin Dilks who takes the race win here ahead of Noah Barfoot in 2nd. An amazing race in such wet conditions for those guys.
first FAB-Racing win of 2025 in the Britson AC40 Inters. We know how good the older brother is. Looks like the younger one's pretty good as well. Austin Dilks, congratulations. What a performance in treacherous conditions to take a well-deserved win. Noah Bartha will have to settle for second on this occasion, but he showed he's got pace. He very may well fly on by. Zach Apisic rounded out the podium places there, but wow, what a performance that was. Dilks, and you can see there taking the board, it's his older brother Wilson waiting to congratulate him as he comes in to the number one board. What a performance that is. I've shown by the older brother, a brilliant performance by younger. Austin Dilks is a race winner in 2025.
Absolutely he is, and you can see all the love and support from family and other members of the grid there. As he is come back, he's behind that first place position and board at the moment. Amazing stuff we have seen from these guys in the first race. Obviously an unfortunate unable to finish from Randy Cotter. Nelly News came P8 and winning the race was Austin Dilks. At the moment we have just getting race 2 ready to go. Coming out on the track at the moment for their sighting is the AC40 rookies. Let's just have a run through of the grid for the guys. Starting in position, we have Logan Paisley. In second, we have Oakley Hipwell. Third, we have Jensen Brown. Fourth, we have Oliver Cheeseman. Fifth, we have William Skingle. Sixth, we have Chase Richards. Seventh, we have Louis Wood. Eighth, Chase Carter. Ninth, Caden Bailey. 10th, Vin Glossop. 11th, Keely Bailey. 12th, Luke McMahon. 13th, Anna Polden. 14th, Theo Tyler. 15th, Adele Everett. 16th, Izzy Cook. And rounding out our grid, starting in 17th place for the AC40 rookies, is Oscar Bond.
Well, as we are waiting to get going then, riders making their way into the grid. Just a reminder that the grid procedure, when they come in, no lights here where we start from at 3 systems. So it is at the drop of a green flag, not the raise of a green flag. It is easy to get them confused. It is when the green flag drops. You'll see our flag marshal Lee Clouds there very awkwardly waddle off the side of the circuit, not having a go at Lee there. There is no real graceful way to go and change flags off the side of a racetrack. Yeah, you can all kind of walk off there, one pick up the other one, and then you do the droppy thing, and then everybody starts going. But of course, the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup, it is the first step for younger riders out there to get a taste of racing, get a taste of being on a bike, and show us what they can do. Klaus just having a few words with somebody there. Not sure what that's for. Might have to do with Jensen Brown, maybe telling Dad to get off the grid, perhaps. I guess so. And she's holding it all in place anyway. Everybody else has vacated the grid by the looks of things, or to my eyes anyway, and I'm not seeing any issues anywhere. And there we go. So Lee will walk over, drop the red, raise the green, race 1, FAB-Racing Rookies Cup. Getting the parents out of the way some more. That's how intense this is. Now we go racing. What a launch there by Oakley Hitler. It's turn 1, but it will be Logan Paisley that takes the lead, looking outside there. Jensen Brown trying to slide to second place. Can't find anything on that occasion. That contact between Paisley and Hitler, I don't believe so, but it certainly looked like it. The second place rider jolking out of the way there. Really, really tight between them as they come to officially start opening lap, though. It is Paisley from pole that leads.
Absolutely is. Logan Paisley, a brilliant start from him there in pole position. He got on that throttle and he got away, and he's building that gap between him and the guys running a bit further back in the back. But an amazing start for Logan Paisley on that number 25. At the moment, just waiting to see who is running in second, and we will just have to wait and see who that is. But amazing start of the race for these guys. They are our front runners at the moment, coming down that start finish straight at the moment where they started this race from the pit lane. Absolutely amazing stuff. The 171 of Jensen Brown still just running in third at the moment, with Logan Paisley and Oakley Hitwell ahead of him running in first and second place at the moment. Here we see a little battle. That is number 74 of William Skingle there, being chased down by one of our other riders.
Yeah, really tight racing out there for our rookies as they make their way through. So Logan Paisley still leading up the front with their action everywhere. Look, of course, some of these guys as young as 6 years old out there. This could be their very first race on a mini-moto machine, perhaps. As we see Logan Paisley from Oakley Hitwell, from Blue Wood, looks like he's got up into third place. No, he swapped place with Jensen Brown, in fact dropping down the order a little bit. I believe there may be a slight transponder issue problem there, but we'll move swiftly onwards. 7 laps, more like 6.5 left to go, and gaps now forming between most of the riders. Paisley's got 2 seconds to hit well at the last time, but that's 3 seconds back to Jensen Brown in P3, who himself is almost doing battle with William Skingle. Oliver Cheeseman's right on his tail as well, as they make their way through the S's section and onto this sort of back straight, I suppose, before Luna Bend. And looking to the outside, was that a move there potentially? Yes, it was. That is brilliant there. Believe that was Oliver Cheeseman getting through William Skingle. In fact, no, it was not. It was William Skingle getting back through on Oliver Cheeseman. So they must have swapped places a moment ago. But wow, that was really tight racing. These guys showing even in treacherous conditions you can go wheel to wheel.
Exactly, Ross. Just 6 laps left to go of the first race for these guys in the AC40 rookies. We're seeing some grouping and some separating happening at the moment. These guys here are running in 4th and 5th place currently. Cheeseman, though, just up past William Skingle. That was a brilliant move from him. Will Skingle be able to take it back, though? These guys are playing that game with each other at the moment in this race. They are swapping back and forth. One corner, one guy is able to get past the other guy able to get past once again, but it looks like Oliver Cheeseman at the moment has got ahead of William Skingle and is holding on to that 4th place. Going to be hunting down Jensen Brown now for that 3rd and final podium position.
Yeah, it could get pretty tight in that one. Logan Paisley on the last lap was the first rider to get into the 56 or 59s, apart from Oakley Hitwell. It's a 59.6 for him. Everybody else is at least a second off or more. In fact, no one else is in the 1 minute deads yet. So it's basically Logan Paisley and Oakley Hitwell up there, and then everybody else beneath them. They are in a little bit of a class of their own, which you do sometimes see in the rookies, of course. You've got to remember that these guys, yes, they're very, very young. They're in different classes. The emphasis here is not so much on the racing and the results, but actually just being on the bike and getting racing experience. That's why the championship for this class has actually stopped coming into this year, because it's much more about just getting the riders experienced and getting the riders used to being out there racing rather than an actual championship fight, which I think as well is the correct move to go. But it does just mean that occasionally you do get gaps in fields where you kind of got 2 who have a lot more experience in this case and a lot more pace than everybody else.
Exactly, Ross. With just 4 laps left to go, it is also worth mentioning that, like we were saying, these guys are rookies. It is their first introduction to racing, and joining us this weekend, currently running in 8th position at the moment on the number 61, is Vinny Glossop, son of Martin Glossop, a very, very well-known rider. And it's absolutely brilliant to see that the sons and daughters of very well-known riders at the moment are starting to join us here at FAB, getting on their road to racing in some of those top championships. But yeah, just 4 laps left to go. On our screens at the moment is the number 74 of William Skingle. He has dropped down now into 5th place, running and has got a big gap between him and Oliver Cheeseman now. He was running in 4th. Oliver Cheeseman got past William Skingle, and I think William Skingle is just struggling a little bit in these conditions to get the most out of his bike.
Yeah, maybe just struggling to get it hooked up as the track dries. Maybe the bike's not evolving to the conditions as much as he's liking. You know, we often talk about how the bike it starts to come underneath you after a couple of laps sometimes. It just doesn't quite switch on, and then it does. Maybe he's having the opposite. Maybe it's starting to go away from him almost. He's starting to lose that feel, lose that touch out there. So that's just something to think about. Again, with changeable conditions like these, where the track is getting drier every single lap at the moment, every time you get to a corner it's going to be different, and you've got to be thinking, okay, how do I negotiate this? And it's so complicated racing out there when it is wet. It just completely changes the landscape of the sport, the landscape of the track, the landscape of the machinery that is underneath you. 3 laps left to go though in race 1 of the Rookies Cup. Paisley leads now by 3.2 from Oakley Hipwell. As we see some of our riders making their way around the lap traffic. That's a little bit tight. That is Paisley, in fact, going on to our penultimate lap of the race and making his way through a little bit of lap traffic. There's Keely Bailey on the number 42, running 10th at the moment. She's doing a fantastic job, it must be said. And she said she was aiming for top 10s when we spoke to her earlier today. As it stands, she's very much on for it, although not a massive gap. And in fact, was that an overtake she just made? As there goes Paisley up the inside there. And wow, that was some pace difference into Joey Dunlop Bend.
Absolutely it was, Ross. Logan Paisley, though, is absolutely dominating this race at the moment. He has just got through that traffic with ease with just 2 laps left to go. He's got very comfortable in these wet conditions on that bike, and he's still just pushing it to the limit to hold on to that race lead. Absolutely brilliant performance we are seeing from him today. Oakley Hipwell still running in second place on that 1.74. Absolutely brilliant stuff we are seeing from him with just 2 laps left to go. Logan Paisley, though, our race leader, has been pushing absolutely amazingly on his bike at the moment. Just 1 lap left to go for him. Yeah, sliding his way through the infield section now. Clear track in front, clear track behind, as easy as you like for the number 25. And yeah, it's not been the most eventful race, shall we say, for Paisley, but it's been a fantastic ride. He splashes his way down at the pit straight and into Paddock Bend for the final time in race number 1 here at Three Sisters. And he's just made it look really, really easy out there. The most treacherous of conditions, when others have fallen, when others have failed. He has risen to the occasion and made it look like he is a class above everybody else as he rounds Luna Bend for the final time in the opening race of the weekend. It is Logan Paisley that is going to take the checkered flag and the victory here at Three Sisters with a commanding ride. Crosses the line and punches the air. That one is a well-deserved victory. And man, oh man, what a performance that was. Takes victory from Oakley Hipwell by 5.5 seconds. And now we won because those two with the class in the field. Jensen Brown is a little bit further back. He's not actually, he's just crossed the line some 12 seconds behind Hipwell. So your podium finishes Paisley, Hipwell and Brown, all 3 of them with fine rides of their own. And now we just wait for everybody else. Absolutely, Ross. What a brilliant performance we have just seen from those guys on our podium positions. Paisley, Hipwell and Brown. They are riding absolutely brilliantly in these wet conditions. Our last few riders just coming over the start finish straight now. Finishing in first place, our winner of this race was Logan Paisley. In second place we had Oakley Hipwell. Third we had Jensen Brown. Fourth was Oliver Cheeseman. Fifth was William Skingle. Sixth was Chase Richards. Seventh Louis Wood. 8th Vin Glossop. 9th Chase Carter. 10th Caden Bailey. 11th Keely Bailey. 12th Theo Tyler. 13th Luke McMahon. 14th was Adele Everett. 15th Savannah Polden. 16th Izzy Cook. And 17th was Oscar Bond. That is our result from race 1 for the AC40 Rookies here at Three Sisters. On our screens now we can see the celebrations for all 3 of our guys on the podium. A brilliant finish for them.
Time for race number 1 in the AC40 Pros and the LC40 Elites. And this one could be a race where we see a championship decided. But before we get to that, let's run through the grid. It's Maxwell Keats from Jensen Cedras, P1 and P2 on your LC40 Elite bikes. Tommy Williams starts in P3 with Freddie Taylor 4th. Joey Athasich is 5th with Mason Fedrick alongside. P7 is Claudia Dubman on the other LC40 Elite bike with P8 Reed Saxelby. P9 is James Durham with Danny Longhurst rounding out the top 10. P11 is Cooper Say with Ethan Bayliss in P12. Oliver Wilson starts 13th and Finley Styles starts in P14. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen here. But yeah, the AC40 Pros then. It is all eyes on that one because Tommy Williams is set to take the championship not just this weekend but in this race. If Danny Longhurst or Joey Athasich outscore him in this race, it goes to race 2. but then they've got a mammoth task on their hands of they basically have to win every race remaining in the ESTA DNF. The gap currently is 123 back from Williams to Longhurst in P2, a further 3 back to Athisish. So if the gap between if Williams actually finishes ahead of Longhurst and the points gap is larger than 2 points, he wins it on countback, but of course he needs to get 3 points to really be champion.
Absolutely, Ross, completely what you are saying. But Joey Athisic starting in 5th and Danny Longhurst starting in 10th. That's a bit of a gap between these guys running in the AC40 Pro Championship, but our front runners on the LC40 Elites, Maxwell, Keats and Jensen Sadras. This has been such a tight battle between these guys all season so far. It is coming down to the neck between these guys. They are our front runners. They will most likely, as it happens in every race, pull off away from everybody else on those liquid cooled bikes compared to the air cooled. But Lee Clay's our flag mark at the moment, just moving off to the side, getting ready to pick up the green flag and get this racing underway. Just waiting these final moments now. Riders getting prepared, and it is. We are away, and that was a brilliant start there for the 24 of Maxwell Keats. Jensen Sadras on that number 2 didn't have the greatest of starts there. Looked like he struggled to really get his bike going off the line there. Tommy Williams, though, starting in 3rd place, just catching up there with Maxwell Keats on that number 24. Amazing stuff we are seeing from him on that air-cooled bike.
Exactly, and it looks to me like the 51 leads this race overall. So in the race where he could be clinching the AC40 Pro Championship, as I said, look at the power difference between the liquid cooled and the air cooled bike there. Wow, Keats make that look easy on the number 24. Maxwell slides on by, just using that extra grunt from the liquid cooled engine. Of course, it's not just the coolest, but it's also unrestricted on the exhaust. It does have more power than the air cooled bikes, but it's still though in from a great start, leading the way. Certainly in the air cooled class, between himself and Joey Athisic is Freddie Taylor. So we've got a buffer for the championship as well, though Taylor is trying to have a look there. The number 18 slides to the in body, but does not get it on the run through Lower Bend. If they finish as they do, it will be, of course, Tommy Williams, your AC40 Pro champion.
Absolutely, but a brilliant start to this race. These guys in the AC40 Pros and the LC40 Elites. Maxwell Keats leading this race in first on that liquid bike, ahead of Tommy Williams on the AC40, and Freddie Taylor running 3rd place overall in this race at the moment, also on an AC40 Pro. Jensen Sadras didn't have the best of starts, but he's working his way back up the pack. There he is, coming into shot now, leaning on Freddie Taylor. He's going to be looking to hunt down Maxwell Keats. It's a very tight battle between these guys for that championship title at the moment, and neither one of them is going to want to give up here right now. But Freddie Taylor looking to make a move on Tommy Williams there, but still just can't quite seem to get enough out of his bike down those straights to be able to have that lead in the corner. We've got just 8 laps left to go.
Yeah, coming to the line now. Going to be 7 surely, unless Matt Keats has a bigger advantage than I thought he had. And looking to the inside once again goes Freddie Taylor, too far back into turn 1 to make a move. But again, putting that pressure on the back of Williams, filling mind. Williams, though, I think he knows Taylor isn't really his race. He doesn't need to worry about him too much. If Taylor gets through and they remain where they are, he still takes the championship anyway. That is somebody down. Who's that that's down? I believe that may have been Oliver Wilson on the 126. We'll have to get that confirmed when the rest of the riders cross the line. But a real shame, but at least they are up on their feet. That is the primary thing. Rider is A-OK. And there we do see back to the number 51 that was coming through Luna Ben. So there'll be 6 laps left to go. And in the battle, the AC40 Pro lead, it is still Tommy Williams that leads the way ahead of Fred Taylor. Taylor just doesn't quite have what it takes to slide through yet.
But it also looks like Jensen Sadras on that number 2 running in 4th place currently. He is on that liquid cool. Most likely we normally see that he has that bit more power to get a bit more out of bikes. He is struggling at the moment. We are waiting to see what's going to happen, but that is Tommy Williams currently running in 2nd place overall on the AC40 Pro. but Freddie Taylor on that 1-8 is looking to catch up with him. Maxwell Keats, however, though, on that Liquid Cool bike, running in fact, has absolutely blown away from everybody else, has up that gap, and is just getting into a comfortable lead in this race with just 6 laps left to go. Jensen Sebastian, the other rider on that Liquid Cool bike, currently running in 4th place, looking to catch up with the others. Claudia Dudman, also on the Liquid Cool bike, running in 7th place overall currently in this race. So our Liquid Cool bikes quite spaced out, but our air cool bikes, this is the battle we're looking at here. Tommy Williams and Freddie Taylor for that 2nd place overall.
Absolutely, but while these guys are fighting in the AC40 class race, it's just a fight to the number 2. Jensen Cedras back into the conversation for the overall places. Yes, we've got a bit of a gap to Maxwell Keats up in front. But it's almost like Cedras just hasn't really got going in this race. He's been stuck behind, so maybe Cedras getting through will just help up a little bit for the rest of the weekend. Again, the gap if they finish as they do between Keats and Cedras, it'll go from 45 to 50 points, which of course 2 wins, and as the season rapidly comes to a close, those 2 race wins are going to catch up to you quickly. 4 to go then for this group as they cross the line. Cedras, look at the power of the Liquid Cool bike, but it's still not enough, and Freddie Taylor still not close enough as well as they come bombing through that left-hander onto the infield section before the Joey Dunlop corner, and you can see how much Cedras is able to close up down the street. It's just using the power of that Liquid Cool motor. Look to the inside into Ben, nothing on that occasion though. He is definitely looking to try and upset this battle.
Absolutely. On our screens at the moment though is our front runner of this race, Maxwell Keats. 4 laps left to go, a massive gap formed between him and everybody else. 5-second lead he's got over Tommy Williams running in 2nd place. He just absolutely has got his head down and he's just pushing his bike to the limit. 3 laps left to go. He's going to take this race win. It's looking like Maxwell Keats on that Liquid Cool 40, but in these wet conditions we know something could happen like what happened to Randy Carter earlier on today. But just 3 laps left to go. Maxwell Keats leading on that Liquid Cool bike. We can just see our guys backing it out for 2nd, 3rd and 4th there. Just coming around in the corner. Freddie Taylor though has now got past Tommy Williams, and so has Jensen. Oh no, Jensen not quite. Tommy Williams managed to get a bit more out of the bike, but Freddie Taylor now running into 2nd place in this race ahead of Tommy Williams on that number 51.
Absolutely, but it doesn't really matter for Tommy Williams because he'll still be champion even if they finish as they do or Cedras gets through. Cedras of course on a different class. It doesn't matter whether he gets through or not. They're not fighting position even if it doesn't look like they are. But as Freddie Taylor takes the race lead in the AC40 pros, Tommy Williams in P2, his nearest championship rival is Joey Attisich in P3, and he needed to massively outscore Williams to take this to race number 2 this week at least. So Williams is very much sitting pretty championship-wise with 2 laps left to go, and I suspect the 51 probably knows that. He knows he doesn't need to risk it as they come into the S's section once again. And you can see he's not exactly pushing the bike ridiculously hard because he knows how much is at stake here. Absolutely,
he allowed Freddie to come up past him and take that 2nd position. Oh my gosh, and that is Williams down! Williams on that number 51 is down out of this race. The first race for him at the weekend. Oh, that is the championship just out of reach for this first race for him at the moment. Not gonna happen for Tommy Williams. He's down and out of the race. Just 1 lap left to go. You can tell he's absolutely gutted by that off that he's just had there, but that is the rules here. Once you are off, you cannot get back on or rejoin. Here's our race leader now, Maxwell Keats on that Liquid Cooled bike. Amazing riding we have seen from him in this first race today. Maxwell Keats, our race leader. Just look how comfortable he is looking on that bike there. He's just gliding around this track. Looks very comfortable indeed, and that is the checkered flag for Maxwell Keats. He has just took the win here at the Three Sisters Circuit in Wigan. A brilliant performance for him there. Amazing stuff to see. Maxwell Keats just going to get some more points in that battle between him and Jensen Cedras. Seconds from victory was Tommy Williams. Williams there on our screens, but unfortunately he had that off and could not complete the race.
Oh, that's difficult time for Tommy Williams, but the championship goes to race number 2 at least. And you can see devastated. He knew it was only a handful of corners and a lap away. But now he has to wait that little bit longer. The heart goes out to the 51. Not quite champion yet. At the top of the timings, though, is Maxwell Keith takes the overall win and the victory in the LC40 Elite. Second was Jensen Cedras in that class. And third was Claudia Dubman. In the AC40 Pros, it was second place Fred Taylor taking the win. Joey Athelsic was in P2 and Reed Axelby was in P3. Then we've got Danny Longhurst in P7, Cooper's P8, James Dermott P1 and Ethan Bayliss in P10 with DNS from Tommy Williams, Oliver Wilson, Mason Fedrick and it looks like Finley Stiles. I'm not entirely sure if he actually started this race. Heartbreak then for Tommy Williams. Still, there is time to move on. Race number 2 will have to happen a little bit later in the weekend as championship hopes.
Coming up now is the first race of the weekend for the senior mini motos. These guys that are racing is always a brilliant form of entertainment for all those watching FAB. They're just coming out now on their 8 and let's have a little run through of how the grid is looking for this start. In a pole position is Matt Birkin, followed in second by Nick Bennett. In third place we have Gary Eldridge. Fourth we have Keaton Payne. Fifth we have Callum White. Sixth we have Harvey Jeremy. Seventh we have Andy Whedon. Eighth we have Tom Burt. Ninth we have Chris Yeomans. 10th we have Chris Bain. And rounding out our 11th the 11th position on the grid is Nikki on the 57. These guys are an absolute brilliant show of race. Matt Birkin joins us this weekend, currently leading the championship. At the moment, as the championship stands, he's followed by Reece Gentry, who actually isn't here with us racing this weekend. So this is a chance for Matt Birkin to gain some good points still.
Absolutely, but it must be said the race mathematically cannot be, or the championship, shall I say, mathematically cannot be won in race 1. Even though Gentry isn't here, he is too close. Birkin can't clear in race 1. We've got to consider Keaton Payne as well, 90 points away. David Meyer and Chris are also still mathematically in the championship, but realistically, I think they know that their title bid is done. Keaton Payne, though, after an amazing weekend at Rowra last time, swept the weekend with 3 wins, starting from P4. He could be thereabouts as well, but it has to at least go to race number 2. It may even go to race number 3 if Payne doesn't score that well anyway. We'll have to wait and see because, yeah, Reece Gentry's a 74-point gap. It's a bit of an awkward one for Matt Birkin, but it is all eyes. The flag marshal, the green's up in the air and it drops. Is that a jump start I saw for Matt Birkin there? It was very, very close. Race controller going to be looking at that one. But it is the reigning champion, the 2-time champion, looking to P3 that leads the way into Luna Ben. But Nick Bennett is going to try on the inside. Can't find anything on that occasion as they crawl their way through, desperate to find any ounce of grip out on the drying tarmac as they officially start the first lap, though. It's Birkin, Bennett, your top 2. Looks like Keaton Payne is slid into 3rd place.
Absolutely. Matt Birkin, you can see how tight he gets into his bike on those straights to keep himself pushing as far as he can. We are just waiting to find out if that was a jump start that he made at the beginning of this race. But the start of the whole race is currently under investigation. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. The 7-11 of Nick Bennett, though, closely following Matt Birkin to try and take pole position away from him. But an absolute brilliant start to the race. It is currently under investigation. Just to find out from racing. Is that the 7-11 of Nick Bennett? That was a smooth move from him up past Matt Birkin to take that first position. I do believe Matt Birkin is coming to a stop.
Joking.
He has got an issue, and that is Matt Birkin. He is stopped. He's off the bike, so he can rejoin this race at the moment. And Birkin, he has also got a 3-second jump start penalty, so that is very unfortunate for him in this race.
Doesn't really matter, does it? I don't know if I'll go to race 2 if it's given after he's already stopped the bike, but wait and see. But yeah, well, it was a called by his brother Josh earlier when we went down to the paddock and spoke to him. He said one race is going to bin it, one race is going to blow up, but he'll win the other one. There's one where he's blown up at least. And again, when we went and spoke to him, the bike was in pieces earlier this morning. He's been really struggling with reliability this year, and it's hampered him quite a lot. And so that is a real shame. Promotes Keaton Payne up second though. If he finishes there, gap between them in the championship will go back down to 70 points. So Payne will jump ahead of Reece Gentry into the vice championship spot and be under 70 points. The weekend and the day would go down to the last round. It would just be cool as you see it. So we'll need to think about that one going forwards. But the reigning championship leader, Matt Birkin, down out for mechanical problems once again here at Three Sisters in race 1 of the senior mini motos. We'll push on anyway. Nick Bennett leads on the 7-on-1.
Absolutely. On our screens at the moment, we were just seeing the 99 of Gary Eldridge loading in third place. He's being chased down by 322 of Callum White, who started this race in 5th position, has gone up to 5th at the moment. Could be looking possibly for a podium finish here in the first race for Callum White. We were speaking to him earlier. He was not looking forward to the wet at all. He was unsure to go out for some practice sessions earlier, but he in this race and he is possibly looking at a podium position at some point in this race. 7 laps to go. On our screens is number 12 of Keaton Payne running in second currently. Nick Bennett on that 7 running in first. Currently got a bit of a gap for him, but it looked like he was just looking down at the bikes then potentially looking at some issues there, maybe, Nick Bennett.
Well, I hope not, because what a shame that would be. Another leader was put out of the race. There is the 85 doing battle with what looks the 45. That's Chris Jones and Harvey Jeremy in the 6 and 5 respectively. We'll look out just behind them. Tom Burt on the 68 is also in the conversation. This could get a bit interesting with 6, soon to be 5 laps left to go. Watch out for Callum White as well in P4, the other Birkin boy, the cousin of Josh and Matt Birkin. He's in P4, just behind Gary Eldridge at the last time. He's really fighting for that podium place.
Absolutely. Just 6 laps left to go on this race. On our screens at the moment, you can see the 85 of Chris Jones. He is stuck in the middle of Harvey Jeremy and the 68 of Tom Burt. That is our battle there for 5th position at the moment. But Callum White, according to our timing screen at the moment, has done. He has got into a podium position past Gary Eldridge and is now running 3rd in this race. So our race leader at the moment, Nick Bennett, is being closely followed by Keaton Payne, and now Callum White could be looking to get involved in this battle as well.
We'll have to wait and see if White can work his way forward, but we'll keep our eyes on all of the gaps, on all of the battles. Callum White had a podium finish this year. What a result to be for him if he's able to get one today, and that is the battle for the lead now. Nick Bennett and Keaton Payne side by side. Payne looking to get to the lead and continue his Linsanity run, making it 4 wins in a row. But Nick Bennett right there as well and is pushing like there's no tomorrow. 4th go as they break the beam.
Absolutely. Nick Bennett leading in first place at the moment on 71. Callum White, though, in 3rd, has just put in the fastest lap of a 56.4. He's gaining on these two running in 1st and 2nd place at the moment, respectively. He is desperate for a podium position, and if he can, he's going to get higher up. He's currently running in 3rd, but if he can, he's going to be looking for a 2nd place or a 1st place finish of this race at the moment. But they're just coming across the start finish line outside of our commentary box at the moment. There are our 3 race leaders. Nick Bennett ahead of Keaton Payne, followed by Callum White. That gap is closed down each lap.
Callum could be onto something here, you know, especially if these two are still fighting. It's going to be 3 to go at the line. I'm just going to keep my eye on that gap. Again, Callum White is not scoring podium this year, and he is right there with them all of a sudden after breaking through Gary Eldridge. And yep, within a second now of Keaton Payne, but that was only a 56.7. 3 to go then. Bennett, Payne from White, your top 3. Then Keaton Payne, who's having the most unbelievable run of form at the moment in the senior motos. 3 race wins last time out at Rowra, and looking to continue that strong going. And then Nick Bennett and Callum White, 2 riders who didn't expect to be seeing up the top all the time. Bennett with only 2 podiums this season, White with none. And they are sat there looking very, very pretty and potentially in for the result of a season here.
Absolutely. Here are guys now are leaders of the race, just round into that right-hander there. It's Nick Bennett ahead of King Payne. There is still a lot of water left on the track though from that heavy rainfall we have just before racing underway. But these guys seem to be doing it really well at the moment in these conditions. They found that racing line on the track. Although there's some water here and there, they are just continuously pushing through. Just 2 laps left to go. Nick Bennett ahead of Keaton Payne. Like we're saying, we are keeping an eye on Callum White. He is just putting another fastest lap of a 56.156. The gap between him and Keaton Payne just 0.6 seconds with just 2 laps left to go. I wonder if he can do it.
It could be. It's going to be tight. He's running out of pace, unfortunately, is White, but Cal is still on for his first podium. A long old time, possibly ever, in fact, in the Senior Mini Moto. I can't actually remember if he's had one before, but with 1 lap to go, Nick Bennett, with only 2 podiums to his name this season, leads them for one final tour in race 1 of the Senior Mini Moto. Keaton Payne and Callum White hot on the tail. Can anyone stop the 711?
Honestly, I do not think he can. With just 1 lap left to go, Nick Bennett leading this race. He's only had a few podiums so far this season. He's looking to add another one, but hot on his tail we have Keaton Payne on that number 12, followed ever so closely by that 3-2-2. But Callum White, here they are now, just coming down past our box. We've just seen them go past the window. It is so close between those guys running in first, second and third. Just coming right into the final corners, we have the 7-11 Nick Bennett leading. Keaton Payne looking to make a move there, but just can't quite get enough of his bike to do so. It is Nick Bennett leading of Keaton Payne. Callum White running in third. Nick Bennett, a really, really strong race from him today. He's coming round now. There is our checkered flag, and it is going to be the 7-11 of Nick Bennett who wins, followed by Keaton Payne and Callum White rounding out our top 3. An amazing race for those guys.
If you'd have told me at the start of the season this would have been a podium in a Senior Mini Motos race, I'd have called you a madman. Actually, scrap that. No, Senior Mini Motos would have probably said you're right. But what a race! What a result for Nick Bennett and Callum White, especially. First win and first podiums, respectively, in a long, long time. And they will be absolutely delighted. Keaton Payne as well continues his Linsanti run of unbelievable form with second place. Makes it 4 podiums in a row. Unbelievable stuff there from the number 12. And he set the fastest lap on the final lap of the race as well, at 55.68. Of course, we're nowhere near lap record territory given the conditions. It is still a fantastic performance by all of our top 3. Championship wise though, Matt Birkin will probably be a little bit frustrated, because if it's going to go this weekend, it's now definitely got to go in race 3.
Absolutely. Coming up now, we have got the Mini GP70. It's a premier race class here at FAB-Racing. We are going to wait and see what happens for these guys in their first race of the weekend. We are moving on to our gear bikes, running a slightly different circuit to those Mini Motos. We are just going to have to wait and see what happens. We are just going to, I can wait for them to come round on their sighting lap and get this race underway, Ross.
Absolutely, and this is a race where Harrison Day can mathematically clinch the title. He'd need some rubbish to befall, like Sir Travis Shaw and Logan Cousins. So we wait and see. But the current gap between the pair is 103 points. If it is 125 points or more between the pair of them at the end of this race, then Harrison Day is your British Mini GP70 champion at the end of this one. Travis Shaw, who will be looking to take at least into race number 2. It is all to play for as the riders just wait to head out onto the circuit. We see Logan Cousins flicking down Matt Thomas's legs there. It was a bit cheeky of him, but fair play. Of course, you have your visor down when you're out on the circuit. And he gives a wave to the camera for measure. And Matthew as well. Oh, boys, hope you're doing okay. Please put on a race for us. But yeah, it should be a really interesting race this is. Again, going back onto the full circuit, back up the top end of the course, which, yes, was run on for the last couple of qualifying sessions when the heavy rain stopped, hasn't been run on since. So, in fact, it's probably still more wet than the rest of the track.
Absolutely, Ross. I will agree with you on that. I'm just going to have to wait and see how these guys do. It is definitely that back section of the track where our mini haven't been racing so far. Not going to have that real racing line on there. Yes, they used it for qualifying, but that we've had a good few bit of time over the first couple of races, which means these guys coming out on that bike have got to find that line, refigure it on the track, and hope that they do not get stuck in some of the wet conditions.
Have to end and see, of course, though, back onto the full layout at 0.93 of a mile, or 1.5 kilometres in this one. So, have to see again for Harrison Day to win the title in this race. He needs to win the Travis Shaw DNFs. That is the only way the title goes in this race. But still, Day will be looking to go out there, do a job, and extend that gap as much as possible to make it easier for him over the rest of the weekend, if he is to clutch it this weekend, of course. Let's run through the grid then. It is a reverse of our top two in the championship. It must be said, though, for Harrison Day there on the front row. It's Shaw on pole. Day starts P2. Frankie Watson starts in P3 with Taylor Tomlinson in P4. Matthew Thomas is 5th. Logan Cousins, who is mathematically still in the championship, but realistically I don't believe he really is, so he starts P7. Well, P6 should I say. P7 in fact is Leo Solu. Taylor Davis P8. Jeff starts in P9, our final rider out there on the grid. It is, of course, going to be all eyes on that front pair, is he? Day and Shaw. Is this the weekend where history is made, or is Travis Shaw able to eke something extra out of himself this weekend and take it to the final round?
I think it's going to be very interesting off the start-finish straight for these guys starting in first and second. It's going to be who can get that better start, who can get the most out of their bike, and who can keep the most control in their bike when they start this race. Harrison Day obviously starting in second place compared to Travis Shaw in first. But I was speaking to Travis Shaw's mum earlier on today. He had a few little issues earlier, but it seems that now by the second qualifying session they've got that sorted, and there he is ready to be starting on pole position. Look at that, our riders there. Harrison Day, Josh Day just did a couple of checks on their bike. Everybody's lining up, everybody's getting ready to go. We are just going to wait for our flag marshal, Lee Clare, to get the flags sorted, raise and get this race underway.
We're being told to control a little bit annoyed about the angle some of the bikes lying on the grid. They want them to be a bit more straight. I can see Taylor Tomlinson very aggressively in his grid box on P4, but Lee Clouds, our flag marshal, giving them the good. I guess we'll get him going. It is race one, the British Mini P70 Championship, and we're on the way. What a getaway! Harrison Day straight into the lead before they even make it to turn one. Perfection from the championship leader. How does Travis Shaw respond when they come into Lucy's Valley?
Travis Shaw looks like he did struggle on that start there, but that is the 47 and nearly coming off the track. Like we were saying, these guys have got to find their racing line, got to get comfortable. It is Harrison Day who leads. And look at that gap. And that is a brilliant start there for Harrison Day. Travis Shaw running in second with the 77 of Taylor Thompson, who had a brilliant start from fourth. Now running in third. He's hot on his tail. He's going to be looking, and it is the 77 of Taylor Thompson just going up on the inside of Travis Shaw. Not the best start for him in this race. Just absolutely amazing stuff from Harrison Day, though. Look at that, the gap of 2 seconds already within the first lap. He's doing really well so far.
Yeah, first lap officially starts now, and what a start it is for Harrison Day. Again, the only way the champion goes to him in this race is if he wins, which, I mean, you kind of expect he's already on course to do so. And if Travis Shaw fails to finish, that's the only way he takes it in race number one. But by winning, and with Shaw maybe struggling, dropping down to third as it stands maybe off the podium, giving himself the biggest advantage he can going into race two, as that's Logan Cousins. Is down and out of the race. He is not allowed to remount. I can see a marshal running over, telling him to get off the bike. If you go down and come off, that is the rule here at Three Sisters. Your race is done. Logan Cummins, who was mathematically in championship contention coming into this race, now is down and out of the 2025 title fight. It's just Day Shaw that can still compete for.
It is indeed, Ross. 10 laps to go, but look at that. Harrison Day continuously building his lead ahead of everybody else. He runs in first place at the moment. He is pushing his bike. You can see he's bouncing a little bit on that track, especially when he comes into those corners. He is really pushing this to the limit. He has to be careful though that he doesn't push it a bit too far and cost himself the championship here at the Three Sisters, especially in the wet. But he is leading ahead. 5-second gap running between him and Taylor Tomlinson, who is currently in second. 10 laps left to go. Soon going to be 9. Harrison Day putting in the fastest laps. A lap of 1 minute 2 seconds last time round. He is performing absolutely amazingly in this first race for the Mini GP. And of course, this is our premier class of racing here at FAB-Racing on the road to MotoGP. This is the race that we want to get into here at FAB.
Exactly, these guys are going to be the guys that move on up to the RG British Champ Cup and then above and beyond to Bennett's Superbikes, to World Superbikes, to MotoGP even. So it is, of course, the whole world watching the Mini GP 70 British Championship. And there's some pressure being put on here now as these guys come down Coward Summit. Frankie Watson looking to try and get through Travis Shaw and into third place, up to the podium places now. Of course, Harrison Day shot off into the distance. Taylor Tomlinson second place has a huge gap behind him. I think if Tomlinson does second, that's his best result of the year. It matches his best result of the year, should I say. Unfortunately, Tomlinson missed the last round out, hence he dropped out of mathematical contention, but still riding a very good race is the 77. Watson, though, on the 14, putting huge pressure on the number 4 as they make their way through the S. You've got to think, coming into Luna Bend, if he gets the run out of here, he may be having a look into Pentath Climb as they go make it 8 laps to go.
Absolutely. Travis Shaw, though, not the best start for him at this race, like we said, but now in third place where he runs, he's been hunted down by Frankie Watson. Perhaps he might be struggling with the bar just a little bit in this first race here at Three Sisters, but there on our screens we can see Travis Shaw in the third being hunted down by Frankie Watson on that number 14. He isn't going to be feeling the best right now, Travis Shaw. He knows, he can tell he's got Frankie Watson hunting him down there. Frankie Watson going to be looking to make the move on this lap, and Travis Shaw struggling that little bit more in this race, but Harrison Day is still leading ahead of Taylor Tomlinson on that number 77 in second. Taylor Tomlinson now got a big gap formed between him and Travis Shaw. Travis Shaw really just looks to be struggling a little bit in this race.
Yeah, whether it's just the conditions or something with the bikes not right, I'm not too certain, but that number 4, just compared to the guys at the front of the group that you'd expect to be fighting with, he just looks sort of out of place today in this race. Oh, huge side! Takes Watson with him, and that is the championship, surely! Unless Harrison Day doesn't finish this race, Harrison Day is going to be crowned champion because Travis Shaw is down and he's taken Frankie Watson with him. Unbelievable scenes as the high side through Luna Bend.
That was a bit of a nasty crash between those guys there. Like we said, Ross, we said this could happen in these conditions. That is a number 4, Travis Shaw out, and number 14, Frankie Watson. Shaw has unfortunately lost the championship now. Harrison Day running in P1 in this race at the moment. Very much looks like he's going to be taking home the championship at the end of this first race. Brilliant performance. There he is now, our race leader with 7 laps left to go. Harrison Day performing brilliantly in the Mini GP 70 race at the moment. 6 laps now left to go. He is just putting in quick lap after quick lap. He's got that gap ahead of everybody else. Brilliant performance from him.
Does he know though? Does he know if his championship rival is down and out? Because if he does, he knows he can back off. He's got a huge advantage behind him. He can sit there and wait and just rack down the laps. As long as he wins and crosses the line first, he's champion. But he has to do that. If he comes second or fails to finish, it goes to race 2. He cannot afford to make a mistake. And Harrison Day, I suspect he was maybe pushing a little bit, maybe just to try and get in the head of Travis Shaw, who he knows was struggling a little bit coming into this race. Maybe just trying to go, look how quick I am. So later on the weekend, just kind of dig away at the psychology, the mentality of his rival. And now that these rivals out, surely he'll have seen him at the side of the track now. He knows he can back off a little bit. I mean, it was a 15-second gap back to Taylor Tomlinson at the end of the last lap. Harrison Day needs to cruise home, and he joins a long list, becoming the 2025 Mini GP7 British champion.
He does exactly there on our screens now are those guys that unfortunately crashed Travis Shaw and Frankie Watson after running of this race, but there he is, Harrison Day, 5 laps left to go, winner of the Mini GP70 Championship, the premier class of racing. He just got to get to the end of this race. He's got to keep himself on the bike, keep that comfortable lead. He's got ahead of Taylor Tomlinson, and then the championship will be in the bag for him. A brilliant performance we are seeing from him here at 3 Sisters. This looks like a track he is very, very happy with. Even in the wet, he's putting in some times. He's got a gap of 16 seconds now between him and Taylor Tomlinson. He's absolutely flying ahead in this race.
Yeah, flying is one way, but he is dominating is another. Harrison Day is in a class of his own as Matthew Thomas going very slowly on the way to Pentith Climb. That can be a bit worrisome if that were coming through Coward Summit, and that's Matthew Thomas surely with an issue. That's far too slow to be on the air. He's pulling into the pit lane, so Matthew Thomas also down, and I think that makes it 5 left in this race now. We've lost Cousins, Watson, Shaw, and now potentially Matthew Thomas. Well, unbelievable. With 3.5 laps left to go. And yeah, everyone's in a bit of no man's land. Day's got 17.5 ahead of Tomlinson. Tomlinson's 14.5 ahead of Taylor Davis. Although Taylor Davis is only 1 second ahead of Leo Solly. So there is a battle still on-ish for the final podium place.
Absolutely, Ross. There is Taylor Davis just got a second gap between him and Leo Solly, who is currently running in 4th. Leo, speaking to him earlier, said that one of his biggest competitors coming into this weekend was Logan. He will be very pleased that Logan is currently out of the race. There is another 1-1-1 of Taylor Davis running in ahead of the 36 of Leo Solly in 4th. This is our battle for 3rd place at the moment, taking place with just 3 laps left to go. The 36 of Leo Solly gaining on Taylor Davis every lap, just 1 second still separating them, but he is going to be looking to get past Taylor Davis and take that final podium position.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can try and draw in. Solly is putting a lot of pressure on that 111 machine. Well, it's the number 11 on the fairing. It is the number 111, the whoa, getting out of the throttle and squeezing Solly. No way if that's come off. I don't think it has. No, it has. Oh my goodness me. What an unbelievable move. Leo Solly, the bravery. Oh, that is unbelievable around the outside of Coward Summit. And he gets into the podium places. Give him Overtake Award of the Year already. That was superb.
That was a brilliant performance from Leo Solly there. Amazing stuff to see as he just passed there. What a brilliant performance. We've got just 2 laps left to go. Harrison ahead of Taylor Tomlinson, ahead of now Leo Solly, who have made a beautiful move there past Taylor Davis to take that 3rd position. Brilliant stuff from there. Here's our race lead now with just 2 laps left to go. Harrison Day, he's going to be our new champion in 2 laps left to go of the Mini GP70, the premier class of FAB-Racing. Amazing stuff we are seeing from him on the road to MotoGP. This is the championship you want to be in, the Mini GP70 Premier Class here at FAB-Racing. 2 laps left to go. Harrison Day is leading, and he is leading comfortably, and he looks very comfortable on that bike, Ross.
He does indeed as he rounds Luna Bend, makes it 1 lap left to go, and a lap of destiny perhaps for Harrison Day. The number 15 has dominated so far this season as he comes to the top of the hill. What a performance it has been, and yes, luck has gone his way in this occasion with Travis Shaw down and out. But as he comes down to the main straight, pit straight, should I say. The number 15, half a lap left to run. So many names have won this championship. So many riders have come and gone. The likes of Marco Holt, Lucas Brown, Evan Belford, Wilson Dilks. All of the greats of tomorrow won this championship. And this boy now, with only a handful of corners to go, who has somehow never claimed a title in FAB-Racing, now claims the biggest of them all. Your 2025 British Mini GP 70 champion. Welcome to the club, Harrison Day, with the performance of a lifetime, is champion in 2025, and it is so well deserved. His first ever title in FAB-Racing. It's the one that they all want to win. An unbelievable ride, an unbelievable year from that boy. Harrison Day is on top of the world. Fantastic stuff. It is Harrison Day who takes the win and the victory after troubles befell his championship rival. Day takes the victory, with Tomlinson finishing in P2, Leo Soliu rounding out the podium places. But Harrison Day comes in to the pit lane. The rest of them I can see out of the coach box window. His colleagues celebrating with him. The premier class of 2025 goes the way of Harrison Day. An unbelievable performance. As you can see, the plaudits surrounding him here. Just try to get down to Izzy to have a few words with our new champion, Izzy Higgs. Let's hear what Harrison Day has to say shortly, or hoping to anyway. Some other bikes heading out onto the track. We're so desperate to hear from the new champion. It may have to wait a little bit as we're getting the pit bike 140s out onto the grid. The pit bike 140s. This championship won't go in this race. It's still very tight as we're going. So let's go back down to Izzy, hear what Harrison has to say.
You've put in this season has paid off.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you to my mum, my dad, everyone helping me to get me to where I am now.
The Premier Class, our winner. Well done, Harrison. Do you have any final words for us?
Let's just hope it goes well next year.
The grid as well.
Well done, Harrison.
Great to hear there from our new champion, Harrison Day. Let's move on to our next race. Race number 1 coming up, and in the pit bike 140s. Let's quickly run through the grid for Tommy Almond, who starts on pole possession. Reigning champion Jamie King alongside Harrison Quincy in P3, with Simon Gate in P4. Finley Cottingham is 5th with Bailey Lawrence. Great to see her up in P6. Richard Holmes Williams is 7th with Keaton Payne starting P8. Ivano Di Francesco is in P9. Matthew McLean starts 10th. Rory Jones in 11th with Mario Geely in P12. Lee Sheldrake 13th. And our final position on the grid. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to unfold this one. Again, the two championship rivals. King beating Quincy for the first time in qualifying in 2025. Only 24 points separating them. It is all eyes to the green flag. We are set to go racing in just a moment. We do go racing now. What a start from Harrison Quincy, from 3rd to 1st before they reach Paddock Bend, and Jamie King can only watch more from the outside. He himself looks to try and get up inside of Tommy Almond, who's joined us this weekend for the first time out. Now trying to get involved as well, but it is Quincy, championship leader, who leads here early doors on lap number 1.
Absolutely brilliant stuff we have seen from Harrison Quincy there, who is leading ahead of Tommy Almond, with Jamie King running in 3rd. He closely being followed by Simon Gates running in 4th. Brilliant start to the race for Harrison Quincy though. But now that looks like Tommy Almond Almond has just made the move past Harrison Quincy, but no, Harrison Quincy has now got that back. Jamie King looking to make a move on Tommy Almond, who is currently in second. Jamie King running in third.
Yeah, right now, championship. I mean, this one anyway is one that can be won here, this championship, but it's so unlikely. Jamie King withstanding big pressure from Simon Gates and Holmes is behind. Again, we've got Honolulu riders joining us this weekend. That's a big move to the inside. My goodness me, Simon Gates and Jamie King, how close do you want to be? And then King as well nearly wipes out Almond in the process. Now King to the inside and gets up into second place. Absolute chaos here in the pit. Like 140s, Almond tries fighting back into the S's. Can't quite find anything. The reigning champ goes up to P2.
Absolutely brilliant performance we are seeing here from Harrison Quincy. Jamie King now running in P2. Behind him, Tommy Almond in third, but he is closely being followed by Simon Gates running in fourth. This is a close little battle we've got going on. Third position. Brilliant performance we are seeing from these guys so far. Just 9 laps left to go. Harrison Quincy leads ahead of Jamie King. Tommy Almond in first, with actually Richard Holmes Williams running in fourth after starting the race in 7th position. Brilliant performance we are seeing from these guys at the moment. Harrison Quincy, comfortable lead. He's got there ahead of Jamie King in second place, but Jamie King, he wants to be able to prove to Harrison Quincy that actually we still know what we're doing. You're young, but we still can beat you.
Absolutely. If they finish as they do, championship gap goes up to 29 points in the favour of Quincy. So it will go up, but again, it's so tight. This is probably the tightest championship we have, as a matter of fact, coming into this weekend. Of course, we've got a few new riders joining us this weekend after another championship had to cancel their round, and Tommy Almond is definitely the quickest of those. He's the one caused the most upset, and especially if your name is Jamie King or Harrison Quincy, you're all sat there going, we've got a bit of a championship fight here. You outsider, you just come in and you're trying to upset us and get involved. That can upset people. 8 laps left to go then. The top 5 still locked in place. Fastest lap last time for Richard Holmes Williams. The tractor boy does a 106.641. Again, we are miles off all that record pace. Still damp out there on the racetrack. Still full wet tyres for our riders. As you can see, the accordion effect coming into play at the Joey Dunlop corner. Quincy still leads. King still until the late dive there. Looking to the inside from Holmes Williams, but cannot find a way up into P3. Almond stays put.
He does indeed. 8 laps left to go, and our front 4 runners are really bunching up close together. Harrison Quincy, Jamie King, Tommy Almond and Richard Holmes Williams. Tommy Almond looked to make a move on Jamie King there, but couldn't quite do it. Jamie King, some good defensive riding from him there, but this is just allowing him, Harrison Quincy, to build that gap between him and Jamie King. Richard Holmes Williams looks to make a move then on the inside. Oh, this is very close between these two, running in third and fourth. Tommy Almond and Richard Holmes, it's a very close battle between these guys there. And now, still running in first is Harrison Quincy. Through the corners, he gets a gap building between him and Jamie King. On the straights, Jamie King gets straight on the throttle and really catches up with Harrison Quincy there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with just 7 laps left to go. Who will take this race win?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Again, King, he didn't change the piston in his engine. He told us earlier on today he was thinking about, because his engine started to burn oil. You will see puffs of blue smoke coming out the back of the number 76 machine. But he said it's running so well, but as I say that, way too late on the brakes for King. Had to stand the bike up. That's got our Holmes Williams through. That's got our Almond through. Disastrous gamble for King. He tried to make it work, and he's gone from second to 4. Absolutely,
but that has just allowed Harrison Quincy to build that gap. That mistake from Jamie King there has allowed Harrison Quincy to now have a 0.2 second lead, which doesn't sound massive, but in terms of out there on the track, those little tiny amounts of time mean everything to those riders. 6 laps left to go. Harrison Quincy leads ahead of Richard Holmes Williams, Tommy Almond and Jamie King, with Simon Gates running in 5th. Holmes Williams, though, last time just put in a fastest lap of a 1 minute 5 second 0.9. He is gaining on the times put in by Harrison Quincy, but now a 0.9 second gap separating those. On our screens now, Jamie King down past the commentary box, looking to make a move on Tommy Almond, but can't quite get the power out of his bike to do it.
Yeah, Allman starting from pole position. Big mistake there from Allman. Is that a problem? Maybe no, he's just got it wrong. Coming into the middle part of the track, up behind the Supermode, so the section known as Lucy's Valley. Again, similar to what King just tipped it in, but got it a bit wrong, way too deep. Had to stand it up. He drops to fifth. So King now up into P3. It's 5 laps left to go. All of this chaos scrapping to allow Quincy to start to open up a gap that you can. It'll be just over a second now as they come to the line. So we'll just wait to see when does... Oh, Jamie King moved up to second place. Got a great run out of Luna Ben. So King's back up to second. So good damage limitation coming back from King after a mistake. But it's now a 1.6 second gap to a race leader. So King really has to dig deep if he wants to fight for this race win.
Yes, he does, Ross. But Richard Williams doesn't seem pleased with Jamie King after making that move. James Williams is going to be looking to make a move through on him as well. 5 laps left to go. Harrison Quincy, one of our younger riders here in the pit by 140, is leading this race ahead of everybody else. Jamie King, a pit bike iconic, running in second, followed behind him in Richard Williams. Currently running in 12th position is Bailey Lawrence on the number 9 bike. We are just waiting to see how he can do throughout the rest of the race. On our screens at the moment is Jamie King on that number 76 bike, followed closely by Richard Williams in third. Tommy Almond, although he had a really good start to this with just 4 laps left to go, he has dropped all the way down to 5th position.
Yeah, just that mistake coming back to Hall Almond. Now King has closed in on Quincy on the last lap. In fact, he was 1.1 seconds quicker than Quincy on the last lap. That's ridiculous. I know that King was quicker in qualifying by a couple of tenths. It's the first time he's beaten Quincy in qualifying this year. Yeah, that's a lot quicker, and King's finding another gear. A little bit deep into Lucy's Valley. But again, let's say okay. Suddenly, Pit Bike Sonic, the 4th-time champ, looking like a man who knows there is potentially a 5th on the line, and he is the one doing the hunting in that title race. He's the one who needs to do that work. Doesn't quite come to anything into Luna Ben, but we've seen how good out of here King is running to make it 3 laps to go. Is there anything from Pit Bike Sonic to try and get through Harrison Quincy? Tucks in to get the toe. Is there anything not quite? I think Quincy himself got a good run. Will stay in the status quo for the time being. The 2 championship rivals are 1 and 2.
Absolutely, they are. Ross. Harrison Quincy running in first, ahead of Jamie King in second. But Harrison Quincy, when Jamie King looked to make that move, then he was light on the brake and quick on the throttle, and he just got that little bit more power out of his bike through that corner section. Meant that Jamie King couldn't quite make the move. Jamie, once again, what we saw happen last time, he's gaining that little bit. Harrison, oh my gosh, and Jamie King off. He is down and out of the race. He just slid, lost his bike on the track. That means Jamie King is out of this race and cannot rejoin. He is going to be absolutely gutted with himself there.
Oh, you can see how furious King is with himself. The smallest of mistakes with the biggest of outcomes, because that gives a huge 20-point advantage if he does win this race to Harrison Quincy championship. Massive consequences for the reigning champ. A disaster. Your heart has to go out for him. But with 2 laps left to go, Quincy can now cruise on home. He will see his championship rival as he slides on here. You can see King's waiting to make his way back to the pits. Harrison Quincy, that is massive for his championship bid.
Absolutely it is. Richard Williams, you must say as well, did very well to just miss that incident with Jamie King. Then that was very close between those 2 guys there. But just 2 laps, very nearly 1 lap left to go, and Harrison Quincy once again showing in the pit by 140s he can dominate, he can do it well no matter the condition. Even in these wet conditions, he has got a comfortable lead. Jamie King, before he crashed up to make a move, but Harrison Quincy said, no, not today. I am leading this race. I want to win this championship. Nobody is getting past me, as much as people want to take a look. But brilliant performance we are seeing from Richard Williams. You can tell well right now. He's pushing his bike to the limit. He gets in, he gets all tucked into his bike when he comes down those straights. Anything that gives him that bit more power, that bit more push to catch up with Harrison Quincy with just one lap left to go. But at the moment, it's looking like Harrison Quincy is taking home win of this first race here at Three Sisters for the Pit Bike 140s.
I mean, it's not a huge surprise that Quincy's on top once again, of course, with half a lap pending, but it's the way that it has come about, because King looks fast this weekend, has been fast this weekend, but has handed Quincy a win on a silver platter. And with that, he will also hand Quincy a 49-point advantage in the championship with only 5 races to go. Was this the race that defined the season? Was this a race that this man put one hand on the Pit Bike 140 trophy? Race number 1 done and dusted. It may not be the way he wanted to do it, but Harrison Quincy is going to take the checkered flag, take the win, and crucially take 25 points to extend his championship advantage when his rival goes down and out. The 755 takes control in 2025.
It absolutely does, Ross. You are right. And Pit Bike 140s this season has never been disappointing. What a great race that was. Some brilliant battles we're seeing there. But overall, it's Harrison Quincy who took that race win at Three Sisters. It was Harrison Quincy in first place, with Richard Williams in second, Simon Gatz in third, Keaton Payne in fourth, Tommy Almond overall came in fifth, Finlay Cottenham in sixth, Ivano Di Francesco seventh, Rory Jones eighth, Mario Jelly came ninth, 10th was Matthew McLean, 11th, well, we had 3 DNFs, which was Jamie King, Bailey Lawrence and Billy Sheldrake.
Absolutely, what a crazy race that was. A real shame for Bailey Lawrence, a huge shame for Jamie King though. What does that do in the championship? How does that create chaos? It's a 49-point advantage now for Harrison Quincy, and that unfortunately was all King's doing. He pushed a little bit too hard and now he's down and out. Will he rue that moment? We'll be back for race 3 tomorrow.
Coming up now, we have the Mini GP 50R, their first race of weekend here at the second to last race weekend for the FAB Mini Bike Racing Championship. Mini GP 50R, we have got quite a few riders in this class for this weekend. I think one of the biggest classes we have seen so far. We've got a Varley versus Metro kit in the Mini GP 50R here, and it's going to be an interesting race between these guys.
Yeah, a huge grid this weekend. Another championship that primarily runs the Varleys. Unfortunately, the schedule to run this weekend got cancelled, so all of those Varley riders have been gone, okay, and just turned up here this weekend. So hello to all of our new riders. Hope you've enjoyed the fun so far. I hope we're maybe convincing you to stick around a little bit longer as we're just waiting to go out. Let's give you a little run through on the championship picture. Actually, they're heading up. Before we do that, let's quickly go through the grid, shall we? It is Mason Frederick from pole, Bradley Curtis P2, Sebastian Goslinski off for third, and Josh Perkins in P4. Alan Ratcliffe is fifth, Riley Payson alongside. Row 4 is Rex Austin, Emilio Pereira P8. Benson Knowles is ninth, and Thomas Head rounds out the top 10. Jen Chancellor is 11th with Max Johnson in P12. Tommy Keats starts 13th with Nicholas Dunwoody in 14th. Kai Hawkins starts 5th with Daisy Poland in 16th. Lisa Hams in 17th. Austin Dilks in 18th. Bo Morris is 19th, and JJ Manchester starts in P20. Callum Maxwell is 21st, Mason Hams in 22nd. Daniel Tanton is 23rd alongside Red Almond. Joe Gathasic starts 25th alongside Harry James. Claudia Dublin is 27th, the final rider out there in tricky conditions. Right then, let's run through now after we've got our huge grid. Oh, and down and out, that's the 30. What has happened there? A bizarre incident for Josh Perkins, who was going off a P4 as well. And I don't know if he's going to be able to rejoin because he's gone down on the sighting lap. And of course, if you crash in the race, you're not allowed to rejoin. It's devastating. So that may be race over, Josh Perkins. So we'll try and figure out what's happened there. Meanwhile, talking about the championship, if Bradley Curtis fails to score in this race, and Sebastian Gaslavsky wins. Gaslavsky, champion 2025 and class. The only way it goes in this race, otherwise it has to go to race 2. So that's the championship picture, but as the riders get onto the grid, bizarre incident for the rider going in 4th place, Perkins there. But look how many bikes are here in treacherous conditions. This could be interesting.
Definitely, Ross, this could be interesting. Like I was saying, I think this is one of the races where we've had the most riders join us for the mini GT50 are racing, obviously, because we've got so many Barleys with us. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens between these guys here. Yeah, no, Josh Perkins actually is unable to start the race. He's out after falling on the side in lap. Rules are strict. If Sebastian Gaslavsky wins this race, he will win the championship.
He has to win, and also Bradley Curtis has to fail to score. Like I said a moment ago, that is the championship picture. Again, Gaslavsky wins and Curtis failed to score. Otherwise, it goes to race number 2. So that is what we're talking about there. There we see Klaus, our Marshall, just having a little. Now we're missing a couple actually. Missing a few further back as well. Who's we're missing? I think we're missing Jensen Knowles, P9. Also look like we may miss Jensen Ansel from 11. That's really aggressive handling there. Curtis in 2. He wants to cut Gaslavsky. He knows to finish in front of him to give himself the best opportunity to stay in this championship fight. Oh, problem there for Riley Paisley at the 17, but it's all eyes to the green flag. It's a jump up for Ventric. It's chaos at the front. We do go racing. Ventric did bring it to a stop. He may get away with that one, but Bradley Curtis looks to the inside, gets to the inside, gets the move to Lucy's Valley. He takes the lead, but what a chaotic start there. Looks like we also lost Riley Paisley.
Absolute madness during that start, Ross, but Sebastian Gaslavsky up into 2nd. Here we are seeing Bradley Curtis ahead of Sebastian Gaslavsky, running in 1st and 2nd at the moment. We have just heard from Race Control that the start is under investigation. That's a bit of a crazy one there, mate. Frederick could have had a bit of a jump start there. We will wait and see what happens. He's just retired from this race. Very much madness that happened in those first few moments of the race, but 10 laps left to go. Bradley Curtis ahead of Sebastian Gaslavsky. A very close battle between these guys. The number 5 of Mason Frederick currently running in 3rd. We thought he may have had a bit of a jump start there at the race start. We are just waiting to hear back from Race Control what is happening there. But Bradley currently leading ahead of Sebastian Gaslavsky, who's got quite a bit of a gap forming ahead of everybody else. Just 0.1 second separating these two riders, so out at the front of the pack.
Oh, huge high side! That is massive!
Bradley Curtis out of the race. Bradley Curtis is down and out. Sebastian Gaslavsky leading ahead of him. That was
that's going to be a red flag.
There. We reckon it will probably be a red flag there. He had a proper high side, Bradley Curtis did, as he went down there. Absolute craziness.
A massive high side. That's the first time we've seen a big one there at Lucy's Valley. Cast mine back a couple of years ago. Another massive one. And we stay low, or local lows for the time being. Of course, if we finish as we do with Curtis now out of the race, that means Gaslavsky is champion come the checkered flag, but he does to finish the race in P1. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen yet. Red flag waves. This race is coming to a halt, and that is no surprise after a huge high side for Bradley Curtis. And we'll let you know as soon as we know if he is okay. But as well, if that is the way that his championship comes to an end, that's the way that his championship comes to an end. That is really saddening for him as well. We'll just have to wait and see. We were told as well on our ears just a moment ago, Frederick was apparently given a 3-second jump start penalty. I'm surprised. I thought he might have got away with it because he did go and then stop. And normally, if race control are feeling nice, they let you get away with it. But clearly, Rob Keys and Louise Matthews, Louise Thomas are decided against that. So we're just waiting to see what's going on. It's all chaotic at the moment. We're getting told multiple different things at the same time. what we do know right now is Bradley Curtis is at a huge high side, and all the riders are coming to a halt. And we wait to hear if we are going to have a race restart or not. Right now, just having a delay.
We are indeed, Ross. That was quite an unfortunate crash for Bradley Curtis. All of our riders, though, are being brought back to the grid. They are not being brought into the pit lane. They are all just being held here at the grid. An ambulance is now making its way out to track. However, we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll report as soon as we know what's happening, as soon as we know. Again, just keep you aware, Bradley Curtis, a huge side into Lucy's Valley. The rest of the riders down there on the start-finish line. Just wait and see what's going on. Oh, there's Riley Paisley's bike. Will he, if there is a full race restart, if he fixed it, will he be allowed to join the race? The same goes for Josh Perkins, who had his off on the site lap. Will he be allowed to rejoin as well? So we're being told if they did start the race, they will probably be allowed to restart. If it is a full race restart. Keyword probably. We don't know that for certain. So Riley Paisley, Josh Perkins, keep your eyes out. But yeah, really interesting starts to that race. But again, if that's the way that Bradley Curtis Championship ends, again, he's had a big one. He's unable to restart the race. And Geslavsky wins. Geslavsky's champion. It's not how you want to win the championship. I'm sure that Geslavsky will be aware of that. And it's a real shame.
Yeah, it is, Ross, exactly. From our at the moment, though, I can see, looks like Riley Paisley getting a few words of wisdom from a family member. Maybe he's just coming back to his bike now. I think it was a bit of confusion for him because he was on the grid and then he ended up pulling into the pit lane. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens for him. But on our screens at the moment, we can see Sebastian Gazlowski, that number 64. Next to the one of Leo Hams, who is currently wearing Halford's Auto Centre.
It's going to be chilly, isn't it?
I'd say he looks proper comfy and warm there. He looks like he's all cosy.
I mean, I would say I've seen weirder on people on the racetrack, but I genuinely don't think I have. Like, I get like wetsuits that have a funky design, or, you know, obviously novice riders, sometimes you have to wear a bib to show that you're a novice or whatever. But a Halford's body warmer, that's I think sponsored. I don't
seen one of them.
Yeah.
It looks like something that Staff maybe has a family member who Staffley's just borrowed it for the day. Wait and see. But yeah, I'll just wait and see what's going to happen with if it's going to be restarted or not. We have got a bit of a delay if you are joining us. Bradley Curtis had a bit of a high side just a few moments ago, which has caused our race to be red flagged. We are just going to wait and see what happens now. But on our screens at the moment, just to the left, you can see the number 64, Sebastian Gazlowski, or Super Seb. He is now referred to as he is dominated this season. Struggled a little bit over the past couple of rounds, but he's proving that he's really strong so far this season.
Absolutely. Again, if this race restarts and Bradley Curtis is unable to restart the race and Geslavsky goes on to win, that must make Sebastian Geslavsky your 2025 champion of this for 2020 EP50R class. Running through that young man's fine. He was avoiding all weekend. Every time I kind of saw him, he just like ran in the opposite direction. I'm not even joking. It's literally like a cartoon. And the very own Izzy Higgs got him and manhandled him over when we were walking around the paddock earlier on.
Manhandled, but while you were doing another interview, I spotted him and I just went over. I went, Seb, come on, have an interview with us, please.
Yes. He finally got to speak to Seb.
He was happy to do it then, and it was just before he went out, so I thought maybe he could say no, but he had a few moments spare. He came up.
It was also a weirdly cryptic interview because he was like, "Oh no, I'm not worried about the championship at all, but I'm really nervous about the championship," in the same sentence. So maybe mind games with the media from Sebastian Geslavsky there. But there's 64 regardless. Again, we are looking potentially, if he is to win this race and Bradley Curtis is unable to rejoin, which as it currently stands, it looks like he won, unfortunately. Yeah, we are looking at our 2025 and our inaugural 50R champion as well. And of course, that's always to have on your CV. No one remembers the second 50R champion. Everyone remembers who the first one is.
Absolutely, they Ross, you are right there. But Super Seb also racing a little bit later in just the standard GP50. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fares in that race later. This one, though, for the GP50R may mean a bit more for Sebastian Gazzosi as he's beating the Avalis on that Metro kit. He is really dominating and showing exactly what he can do and what he can pull out of a bike.
Yeah, he really is. Again, we're not sponsored by Halfords. We're getting a lot of Halfords action on screen at the moment from Leo House. I mean, fair enough. You're cold out on the racetrack. You're cold out on the racetrack. Let's run over the day so far, though, Izzy. I mean, we've got approximately 50 minutes left to get some race in. We do, I believe, have a couple more race one after this one off the top of my head, and then are we straight on to race two? Is this the last race one?
No, we have the first race for the Extreme 200s, the Moto team, and the standard mini GP50s to get through before we can possibly fit in a couple of race twos. But we do have to have finished racing by 6 p.m. today due to the rules of the circuit and some karting events that they are holding.
No, well, we'll see how we're doing for time. Again, the original changed plan was to have two of the race twos at least tonight or this evening, I say, and basically run as close to 6 as we could, just to give us a bit more leeway with Sunday's racing. Also, not allowed to have engines fired until 10, which means warm-up gets pushed back, which means the racing gets pushed back, and then of course you can fit 20 races in on Sunday as well.
And the weather tomorrow.
And the weather,
so we have got a lot of factors tomorrow that we're thinking of here at FAB-Racing, but all of our riders at the moment just having a bit of a chat with each other, looking pretty comfortable. And for the first year of the GP50R, a brilliant season of racing we have seen from these guys so far. They just push and push their bikes to the limit every race, and it's absolutely brilliant stuff we see from them.
Yeah, no, it's been a really exciting class. Of course, this new for 2025 championship, it's been really exciting to see how it all unfolds. Again, it was created for Metro Kit Mini G50s with upgraded, a larger restrictor on the bike, and then also open, of course, to Avali 40s and 160s. Avali becoming more and more popular. Here at FAB-Racing, we thought, why not just have them along as well, which is why we have so many Avalis on the grid, and especially today as well. As we said, another championship which runs the Avali bikes primarily had to cancel their race this weekend a bit last minute, and so all of the riders over there like, yeah, we'll just go to Fab and do this. So that's, we've got a massive grid here at Three Sisters, which of course is absolutely fantastic, and we hope that the new riders are enjoying FAB-Racing, and that we hope they'll maybe be here to stay. So we're just being told that there is just be an inspection for oil or fluid that's been dropped down at Lucy's Valley from where Bradley Kerr had his high sub, which is of course why we're under the red flag. So there's going to be a quick check there for that, and then once we've got the all clear, I'm assuming it will be a full race restart. We will get that confirmed to us by the guys on race control, hopefully very soon. But it'll either be a full race restart, or it'll be restart with however many laps we had left. Sure, the guys like Josh Perkins and Riley Page will be loving a full race restart. That means they'll be able to rejoin the race after crashing out.
Absolutely, Ross. Josh Perkins and Riley Page will really be hoping for a full race restart, but we just have to wait and see. Obviously, we've got to see the oil's looking like on the track first. If there is any oil on the track, there is just going to be an inspection happening now. I can see a couple of marshals have got together. We are just going to wait and see if they can get enough sand down to, if there is the oil there, get it all covered up and not as slippy and wet and greasy, so that these guys can actually race and complete their first race of the weekend for the mini GP50Rs. But yeah, just waiting now to find out. Everybody's just having a chat there. Sebastian Gazzosi on number 64, just at the left corner of your screens, chatting away to the number one of Leo has, and a couple of other riders. We are just going to wait and see what's going to happen here. See if the inspection shows anything. See if we can get this race underway, whether it be a full race restart or it'll be an outing lap, and then just restarting the race with just however many laps were left to go from the race when we stopped after that crash. Just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, so still under a delay here at Three Sisters, and it has been a fantastic weekend, it must be said. You can see there the riders talking to the roving marshal, typically parents / chief mechanics, and we are being told riders are going to get sent back to paddock. So I'm not entirely sure why, unless we're expecting to be under a much longer delay for a while. I guess there needs to be a big inspection of oil, but they are going to be sent back to the paddock. I tell you what I might do actually is I might just run down and ask Lee Clark what's actually going on, because she's right in front of her.
I just saw her yelling, well, not yelling, but just letting the riders know what's going to happen, but just raising her voice enough so that everybody can hear her over there. But all the riders are back to the paddock now. Must have a bigger inspection taking place on the track, but just waiting to find out what's going to happen. But it's been a brilliant day of racing so far here at Three Sisters. The weather has not put anybody off at all. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
So we are being told in 15 minutes time approximately we're having a 9-lap restarted race. So we're going to have to wait for 15 minutes. Again, I'm not entirely sure what said 15-minute delay is for, unless potentially we're waiting for a medical team to return to the circuit or something along those lines. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. We are going to have to wait 15 minutes for that. So, yeah, we are going to be a little bit tight, I think, at the end of the day. I think we will just about squeeze all of our race one out. We will have to shorten a couple, but maybe. Race 2s, though, I think might have to wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, Ross, I'll agree with you on that one. So yeah, it's going to be a busy day of a race tomorrow. Get all of our race 2s and race 3s finished. But obviously we can't start as early as normal in the morning. We have to wait until 10 a.m. before any bikes can be allowed on the track. Just wait and see what's going to happen here. Brilliant stuff we are seeing at the moment, though. Amazing day of racing we've witnessed so far, and we are just going to wait and see what else happens that we can absolutely we'll just wait and see. I'm just going to head down now and chat to some of the kids and see how they are feeling about the rest of the race coming up.
So while Izzy catches her breath and sorts herself out, we'll send Izzy down and give her a second, and then we'll head down to the pit lane. Sorry, it's all got a bit chaotic in the commentary box as we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on here at Three Sisters. There you see someone on crutches. That is Oscar McAllister, who of course broke his tib and his fib, I believe, or was it just his tib? Well, he broke a bone in his leg in Friday practice. Last time out of hour. Cast comes off this Friday though, so he will be back on the bike, he tells me, final round, which is again here at Three Sisters, which is great to hear. Can't have McAllister back on the machinery. We are seeing a couple of engines being fired up. Riley Paisley there, unhappy with something. Shake of the head there for the number 17 rider. He was doing a practice start, but I guess he's not entirely happy with something going on there. There's a few other riders also giving it a go. Looks like the number 20 trying his trade, seeing if he can nail the start. That is Kai Hawken. A lot of the riders though have gone back to awnings, so make of that what you will. Again, a 15-minute delay we are told before the start of the race, and why don't we head down to Izzy now, who sounds ready to speak to a couple of riders.
Joining us now is one of the riders just while we have a break and wait for racing to get restarted. How are you feeling at the moment?
Alright. Just got to get ready.
And remind us for all who is watching at home what your name is.
Jensen.
So Jensen, what happened for you out on that lap just before we got finished?
Well, I got a good start and passed like 4 people and then got red flags. I was doing alright.
Just got to wait and see what happens now when the race gets restarted. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you.
Now, if we just head this way a little bit, I can see Riley Paisley, who had a bit of a strange start to his race. So we will see what happened there. Just find Riley.
Interview mics on right channel, channel 1.
Sorry if I can just squeeze that. Hello, Riley. You okay?
Yeah.
What happened for you at the start of the race though? We saw you in the pit lane, then you ended up out on track. What happened there?
I just had a few issues with my clutch, but hopefully it's all sorted now.
So did you just need to start from pit lane just so you had that chance to sort it, check everything was all right before you went out on track?
Yeah, well, I pulled the clutch in, hit the throttle and it rolled forward. And I thought, rather than get a jump start penalty, I might as well start it. So that red flag's helped, but I hope that's alright. I think he's hurt his collarbone, but we'll see soon.
So yeah, just waiting to get back started racing again now. How are you feeling when we have that 9-lap restart?
Well, it's my best qualifying of the year in this class, starting 6th, so I'm quite confident in the wet as well. So hopefully if they've sorted that, I'll be up there.
Well, a good luck for the rest of the race later.
Thank you.
I also see here Oscar, who is here after unfortunate crash at Rora. How are you feeling, Oscar?
Good, yeah. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. And how are you feeling at being here but not racing?
I mean, it's quite relaxing, just watching all my mates do well.
And who are you rooting for in this race at the moment?
In the 50R, I've got too many friends, so I can't tell you that.
And what did you feel when you saw that crash just, unfortunately, of Bradley Curtis?
Yeah, I was just watching him come around the corner and he had a unfortunate crash, so I hope he's okay.
Yeah, as do we all. Well, hopefully we'll be seeing you back soon. Any update on when you'll be getting your cast off and getting back racing?
Yeah, I'm going to get my cast off next week, but I'm not allowed to ride round here because fast track, if I crash it would snap again, so I'll be back for next season stronger and better, so hopefully I can get top 3 next year.
Well, hopefully you'll be fully on the mend soon and we'll be glad to see you back next season.
Thank you, bye.
Now let's have a look, see who else we can find. Here is one of our riders just waiting for the race to restart. Up for a little chat?
Yeah.
Just remind all of us at home who you are.
Kai Hawken.
Kai Hawken, how did your race start before we unfortunately got stopped and just had to wait a little bit?
It was alright, I got a bad start, but I had to catch up again.
What happened? Why do you think you got a bad start?
I don't really know really.
Well, what are you hoping to do when the race does get restarted to do better?
Get a good start and then gain racing seconds.
Well, good luck, Kai, and we hope you have a better start. No problem. Let's see, everybody's starting to come back into the holding area now, but I do see just down the end there is one of the girls who is supported by House of Moto for this season, Daisy Polden. So we'll just see if we can catch her for a quick little chat. I can see her there, everybody's encouraging us to go, so let's quickly just grab her for a quick little chat. We'll be back in a minute, everybody. But Daisy Polden, how are you this weekend, Daisy?
I'm good, thank you.
And how was your race going before we had to stop?
It was good. I qualified 16th and I managed to get up to 13th, which was good.
And how have you been finding riding on the Mini GP50R bike?
I like it. It's nice and fast out of the corners. It's just fast in general, like fast everywhere.
And are you running on a Metro kit or a Varley?
A metric kit.
And how have you finding that's been suiting you as a bike?
I feel like the metric kits suit me well because I'm not really sure why, but I just find them suit me well. I like the
Well, what are you hoping to do when the race gets restarted to make sure you get up there and get in some good positions?
I'm hoping to just go for it, really. I just want to get top 10 and try to go for it.
Well, good luck and have fun, Daisy. Brilliant stuff we are seeing from you. We are just going to head back up to Ross in the commentary box now.
Thank you very much, Izzy. Great to hear from some of the riders down there. We are getting ready to get restarted. We've been told it will be a 9-lap race. And it looks like the likes of Josh Perkins and Riley Paisley are going to be re-allowed or reinstated, should we say, into the affair. But you can see the gaggle of people that you heard Riley Paisley a moment ago. Not looking too good right now. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what's going to happen there. Of course, yeah, Bradley Curtis is not going to be rejoining us for that one. This one. We're sending all of our thoughts over to him. We hope that he's all okay and hope that he'll be able to rejoin us tomorrow. But it does mean that if Sebastian Goslavsky is able to win this race, he will be crowned champion in 2025. Yes, in disappointing circumstances, but you've got to say, it's not an undeserved championship. He has been so strong this entire season. Lee Clows then getting ready to send them back out to the grid once again. Just doing a bit of numbers and counting there. I'm a big fan of the Croxley for when you're listening to this back. So Josh Perkins is going to rejoin this race. He crashed on the sighting that last time. The 35 just stole it there. Nicholas Dunwoody, yeah. Oh dear. Nicholas Dunwoody, the Scottish rider. If there's ever a place you don't want to make an embarrassing mistake, it is right in front of a camera. Oh dear. Well, they're getting ready to head back out anyway, and now we do head back out. So let's run through the grid and where people are or would be starting if they're not able to be joining us. It's Mason Frederick who will sit alone on the front row after Bradley Curtis's huge high side earlier on. Again, we are sending all of our well wishes, and we'll let you know and update you on the situation as soon as we know what is going on. Sebastian Goslavsky, he starts third. If he wins this race, he is now crowned champion. Josh Perkins is alongside him. He crashed out on the sighting lap in the previous effort, but been allowed back in. Caelan Ratcliffe and Riley Paisley are on the third row. Rex Austin P7, Emilio Pereira in P8. Jensen Knowles is 9th with Thomas Med in P10. Jensen Ansel 11th with Max Johnson starting P12. Tommy Keats is 13th. Nicholas Woody starting 4th. Kai Hawk in 15th. Along the 127 Daisy Poland P16. The quadruple one of Leo Ham starts in P17 alongside Austin Dilks, who took a victory earlier on today in mini motos. Bo Morris is 19th. JJ Manchester starts P20. Callum Maxwell is 21st with Mason Hams in 22nd. Daniel Tatton in 23rd and Rex Ullman in 24th. Joey Akitich is 25th. Harry James in 26th. Claudia Dubman starts 27th and last out of our riders. Again, a few of those will not be joining us. Bradley Curtis, of course, the big emotion after that side that led to the red flag, sending him all our best, of course. But it does mean, again, to remind you, if Sebastian Goslavsky, starting third on the grid, wins this race with no Bradley Curtis, he will be champion. If he does not win this race, regardless of what happens to Bradley Curtis throughout, and if he's able to rejoin at the end of the weekend, or able to rejoin us for race 2 or whatever, it still goes to race 2. So I'm sure that man, number 64, will be wanting to sort it out. Lee Cloud is apparently doing the yoga now. There we go, now she's trying to sort it out. Apparently she's a big fan of holding the flag. Now she is. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, Lee. There are children in front of you. Just saying that much anyway. Yeah, so are we saying 9-lap race? Yeah, I think that's what she's trying to communicate. 9-lap race. Okay, so red flag now gets in the correct position. Now we go to the side. Second time, hopefully the charm. Sebastian Goslavsky, the world watches on. The green flag rises into the air. Or does it? Maybe. They're taking their time. Come on, Lee. Stop teasing us. You gotta get us going. Sebastian Goslavsky is 9 laps away from winning the Mini GP 50 championship. That's why Riley Paisley out of the race before it starts again. Great launch there for the 30 of Josh Perkins, but the second phase isn't as good. Fedrick gets away well on the front row. Gaslavsky also away strong despite a challenge. Down into Paddock Bend. Fedrick now defending on the run into Lucy's Valley. The Valley leads the Metra kit as they head into the S's for the first time. Gaslavsky and Fedrick already starting to break away from the pack behind. Again, Perkins crash. And look at that already through Gaslavsky into the race lead. A brilliant move down into Luna Bend. And the number 64, Sebastian Gaslavsky, runs away at the front. If he finishes there as he officially starts the first lap, he will be your champion. It's Gaslavsky that leads them onto lap 1 from Mason Fedrick, from Josh Perkins in P3, Rack, Pereira, Knowles all there in 4th, 5th and 6th. As it's like, oh, we got a crash there. That's 2 down as Daisy Pold, I believe, on the 127. And another red has gone down with as well. That's a real shame. I'm not quite sure who the other one is. But Daisy down and out of Luna Bend as they're almost side by side. Coming into Paddock Bend now. Emilio Pereira's under huge pressure. And look at that. To the outside goes Tommy Keats. Now to the inside. Brilliant racing here at Three Sisters. Tommy Keats putting on display. Really tight out there in the middle of the pack. 8 to go, and pressure being put on all of them. There is Emilio Pereira, currently P4, the number 31, of course the vice champion in the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup last year. Fedrick has got back through Gaslavsky. What has happened up in front was a mistake from the 64. Is the 5's pace genuine? Because they swapped back, it is Fedrick back up and into the lead here at Three Sisters as they make it 7 to go. And if they finish like this, Gaslavsky is not champion. It goes to race number 2. So this makes things interesting as they come to Coward Summit and bomb on down. It'll be Fedrick that leads them into the Joey Block corner. Gaslavsky will be watching, trying to figure out what went wrong, trying to figure out where Varley is weaker than his kit and how he can work his way back in front. Get close enough though. Radcliffe is still holding on, and Keats, we saw like huge moves he was making earlier on. He is still there or thereabouts, so we'll keep her a little bit further back. Looks like it's under pressure. There is number 30 of Josh Perkins, Nicholas Woody on his tail. And let's see if they can try and squeeze by, try and change anything up. But right now, holding on in front of them, the number 12 of Thomas Med, one of our riders new to FAB-Racing this weekend, having jumped across from another championship. Putting on a good defense and display. I went for both words at the same time. He's holding Perkins and done Woody off very, very well. 5 to go for these guys when they come to the line. On the front of the pack, gap between Federic and Goslavsky, 1.8 seconds. I think Goslavsky knows that if he doesn't win the championship in this race, in the next race, if he finishes second with Curtis not scoring, the gap is so monumentally large anyway. He's basically wrapped up, so he's taking it nice and easy. Really intense, very close with lap traffic as well. Emilio Pereira has never finished above 7 in the 50 hours. What a ride he's having, and what a story it would be if he's able to hold on and take a podium. A bit more traffic for these guys contend to as they come into the S's. Pereira, Ratcliffe, Knowles, Keats, Aston, all so close together out there. 5 bikes in the train like it's a Moto 3 race. Do not scratch your eyes, because this is a brilliant battle that is brewing for quite some time. They'll cross the line and make it 3 to go. Austin looks to try and get a bit of a run on Tom Keats. Is there anything there? Here comes Knowles on Ratcliffe. Look at the run, side by side. Independent climb, the bikes moving underneath them. That is bravery divine from Knowles. What a brilliant move. And there's problems maybe. Oh, they've had to split traffic, in fact. My, oh my, unbelievable scenes. Splitting the traffic as they go through. Pereira still holds on. Knowles up to 4th. This is an incredible race. Yeah, Goslavsky, he's absolutely just riding comfortably. He's not pushing too hard. He knows there is nothing to gain from going all out. Yes, he can wrap up the championship in this race, a race early. Brilliant. What does that gain you? You're still going to be champion, surely, by the end of this season, regardless. He knows he may as well just play safe. Doesn't want to risk anything. Doesn't want to hurt himself. It must be said, it's a great ride from Federic. You know, not taking anything away from Goslavsky, maybe not quite to 100%. And as Federic does work his way through the S. He has 100% deserved a race win. He's been brilliant today out here at Three Sisters. And as he comes down Luna Bend for the very final time, the number 5 is going to be number 1 here in race number 1, the Mini GP50s. Mason Fedrick with an arm to the sky takes the win and does so well and hits the dance move as well. Sebastian Goslavsky finishes P2. It will not be the Mini GP50R Championship this time, but it will be one hand on the trophy for the number 64 heading into race 2 and 3 tomorrow. It is Fedrick, Goslavsky, Jensen Knowles, your top 3. What performance though from Mason Fedrick to take that victory. It is Fedrick who takes the win from Goslavsky in P2, Knowles P3. Emilio Pereira was in P4 there. Caleb Rack 5th, Tommy Keats came in P6, Rex Austin 7th, Thomas Head in 8th, Josh Perkins 9th, Nicholas Dunwoody in 10. Elsewhere, we have Riley Paisley 11th, Leo Hams 12th, Max Johnson 13th, Kai Hawk 14th, Austin Dix 15th, TJ Manchester 16th, Maxwell 17th, Daniel Tanton 18th, Joey Athasich 19th, Rex Alman P20, P21 was Claudia Dublin, P22 was Harry James, and we lost Maiden Hams, Bradley Curtis, Jensen Ansel, Daisy Polden and Bo Morris. Those guys, 2 more races to come from Sunday's action and a champion to be decided. Sebastian Goslavsky though, one hand on the trophy. Yeah, great to have Asher with us. Currently 2nd in the Pirelli National Sport Bike Championship. So, he's a rider with a lot of quality. But just to show how good the Extreme 200 is, the rider is running 2nd in a national championship in British Superbikes. Is stuck at P9 out of 11. So that shows how good Extreme 200 race is. Yeah, what's your Pirelli National Sport Bike now? All joking aside, great to have Asher with us this weekend. And I'm really excited to see what he can do here in FAB-Racing, but of course he's got some big competition. Of course, Wilson Dilks only P4. That's a bit of a surprise because normally when Wilson Dilks turns up, he wins, but he hasn't done that, or he's only qualified P4. He's won absolutely every race that he has entered this season in the Extreme 100s, but Harrison then leads the title charge by 53 points, just because he has done every race this season. So we'll see what Dilks has got. Tomlinson on pole position as well, as there will be Harrison Days, the gold helmet and golden leathers on, after being crowned British Mini G70 champion earlier on. That is brilliant to see. Congratulations, fair play, but you still got an Extreme 200 championship to win, kid. It's not over yet. Surely you can't be wearing the golden leathers in the champion. You're not even one yet either. I don't know, I'm just big panting. Lee Clouds walks up to get the green flag. Taylor Tomlinson, pole position. Solio alongside his green flag down to go. Really poor start from Soliu, so that will allow the likes of Dilks and Day up into 2nd, 3rd. Tomlinson leads them into Lucy's Valley for the first time. They're looking to the inside, goes Day, but Tomlinson shuts the door. The 77 will hold on as the 15 feeling confident. Look at Wilson Dilks trying to get involved. Look at Asher Durham getting away well as well, using BSB pedigree as they come through the S's for the first time. Day looks to the inside, can't quite find that way through Taylor Tomlinson though. Dave knows that Dilks was a double champion in the 70s and the Extreme 200 last year, and I think he wants to mirror that achievement, and he knows what's on the line. Or Tomlinson decided to go defensive to the inside. That was a mistake. Allow Tyler Humphries to sweep on the outside. Yeah, Dilks is not really anywhere though at the moment. Maybe he should have stayed retired from mini bike racing, to be honest, because he's not winning. What's going on, Wilson? Sort yourself out, man. All jokes aside, the 85 withstanding huge pressure from the 47 and the 85 behind as well. Of course, Wilson Dilks has 3-lap records round here. He is certainly very, very quick at Three Sisters. Not quite in tune in race number 1, for whatever reason that may be, in the amphibian scaffolding Extreme 200s here at Three Sisters. So it is now Day from Humphries, from Tomlinson, top 3. Actually, scrap that. It's Tomlinson from Day, or Humphries from Day from Tomlinson. They've completely reversed what were essentially a lap ago. It is Humphries on the 19 and now lead here at Three Sisters. Very confident, but of course when you up the pace like that, people start following you. It invites them to be quicker as well. Be careful unless you know you're able to turn it on so much it's vanish, which I'm assuming is what Tyler Humphries is trying to do. We've got to remember that Day and Tomlinson are fighting behind us. Dilks has dropped behind Matthew Thomas now. That's down to P5 for one of our championship contenders, the reigning amphibian scaffolding Extreme 200 champion. So we'll wait to see if he's able to maybe fight back against Thomas. But yeah, nice move there. It must have been from the 47. Maybe he can up the pace and get involved in the fight for the lead as well. Up P7 with 7 laps left to go, should I say. So yeah, we'll wait to see. But Wilson Dilks is just struggling out there for some reason. His younger brother, a race winner earlier on today. Wilson, for whatever reason, something not clicking on that 85. Absolutely is, and he's doing a very good job. Not done yet. Day and Thompson are still right there with him. Day, of course, celebrating his British Mini GP 70s championship that he took earlier today with the gold helmet and the leathers on, presumably for the rest of the season. And it is stunning to see, and shows again he's got that championship. You know, he's never been a FAB-Racing champion before today. Somehow he's been a vice champion many a time before, but for one reason or another, this boy with so much talent has never been the guy to beat until today, so why not celebrate it? He is under a bit of pressure though. Taylor Tomlinson, who's thinking about poking a wheel, definitely trying to get the drive. Tomlinson not quite close enough though, and preferring to take a more of an inside line that requires less entry speed. And that day, so he'll settle to stay behind the new champion and the championship lead, of course, in the amphibian scaffolding Extreme 100s. But that of all this scrubbing, it is allowing Humphries just to slowly start edging away at the front of the pack.
Oh no, Tomlinson has made that move in Paris today. Paris is going to go getting back. He's then leading in second place ahead of Harrison today.
he's just thinking, you know, maybe I know Dilks is having a battle, but I don't need to push as much. Maybe he's won a championship and he's still riding that high and he's taking his after ball. Maybe Tomlinson and Humphreys have just turned up with something to prove here at Three Sisters, and they turned up just feeling quick, feeling snappy, feeling better, I guess. 4 laps left to go. Dilks still under pressure from Soliu. Of course, Soliu starting from second place, had a great qualifying session, but I just fell back early doors, putting pressure on the reigning champ though, it must be said. Yeah, I mean, of course, retired 3 weeks ago from mini bike racing. He's back and struggling for whatever reason is Wilson. Maybe he's to use the football. Maybe he's already mentally in Dubai. The season's not quite over, but it's basically over, and he's just checked out. He's looking forward to his off-season, his holidays. He doesn't really care anymore. Again, I'm joking. We know how good Wilson Dilks is. This is set to be, of course, pending disaster for everyone in front of him. The first race in the Extreme 100s that Dilks entered this year that he hasn't won, which is an unbelievable stat. He's won every single race he's entered so far this year. Well, until this one, as it currently stands. We'll have to find out later on. 2 laps to go though. That's down into P4. And look at Taylor Tomlinson, yet to take a race win in 2025 here at the Masterback FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. He's got a perfect opportunity in the amphibian scaffolding Extreme 200s, because with 1 lap left to go in a few moments' time, Tomlinson is right on the tail of Humphreys, who is set to maybe take a maiden win. 1 more tour in race number 1. Who's got the bottle? Humphreys holds on, coming through Pentic's climb into Coward Summit now. It's Tomlinson brave on the run down into Joey Dunn corner. No, he'll sit back, he'll wait, he'll stay patient as they go to the pit straight. Humphreys may be feeling the pressure as they go into Pad Bend. 1 more time. Now Lucy's Summit next, a very tricky corner. So easy to get it wrong through here. Tomlinson dropping ever so slightly, run slightly wide as well, maybe trying to pick up more momentum. Humphreys may have gotten away with this one as they head into the S's. Left, right, and then left. Is there anything left from the tank of the 77? Only Luna Ben to go. Now it's gonna have to be drag race drama if Tomlinson wants the win, or will he have to pay even more for that maiden 25 win? I think he will. Welcome to FAB-Racing. Tyler Humphreys wins at the line, but man oh man, Tomlinson was giving it to him at the end.
podium position at the moment. There is Tyler in the middle, Peter Thomas to the right of him, and Matthew Thomas at the fourth second is left. And an absolutely brilliant race that we saw there from these, like everybody was extremely good. Harrison Dana did towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it was a bit bizarre, but I guess maybe he's just taking it a bit easy after taking his championship. I got a feel for Taylor Tomlinson as well. It's been a long while since the 77's had a race win. I know just how good he can be. So a real shame for Taylor Tomlinson, but again, these guys, they've got 2 more races coming their way tomorrow. And I think it may be a time limit thing because we are coming up on 6 o'clock. And yeah, just been told in our ear we are not going to be able to get our last race ones done today. We have unfortunately reached the time limit of today. So Moto Team and the Mini GP50s brought to you by King's 2 Wheel Centre. They're going to have to come your way tomorrow. So they'll have 3 races in one day, hopefully, which is an interesting dynamic. A real shame though for the Moto Team guys, and a real shame for us as well because we've only got 8 races done today. Yeah, unfortunately, Three Sisters, it's an area that doesn't get the greatest signal. And again, if you've been attempting to watch trackside and you've been cutting in and out, race will be rebroadcast, or the races from today, should I say, will be rebroadcasted tonight, so you can watch back. But yeah, we've been timed out. That's all that we've got time for here. Today's action around 6 of the Master FAB-Racing Mini Bike British Championship. We've crowned some champions already today. And now we've got 22 races set to come tomorrow. Could be a little interesting. That's all we've got time for on Saturday's coverage.
To MotoGP and the feeder series to the British Talent Cup and Red Bull Rookies. This is FAB-Racing Mini Bikes British Championship.